Hello, 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 everyone. I'm going to give it a second. I am live everywhere, all at the same time. So, Facebook and YouTubers, make sure that you say hello when you get in here, or I will not know that you are here. Hey, TikTokers, what's up, Carmen? Good to see you. Glad to see you coming in here already. What's up, Alex? How are you? Hello, hello. What's up, Leslie? Hey, Mia. What's up, Sherry? Hello, Aaron. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Do Right. Ooh, it started going really fast all of a sudden. Conchita, Gemini, it's going super fast. I want to say all your names. What's up, MG? What's up, Carol? Hey, Kimber, Sharita, Dillgrave, Candy Kiss, Farah, Red Hot, MG Brock. I don't know if I said you yet already. What's up, Darren? How are you? Good morning. It's 4 minutes before noon where I am at. Hey, Sunny, how you holding up? What's up, coolest mom ever? Good to see you. Thank you, Conchita, for sending the team hat already. Again, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure that you speak because it doesn't show me when you guys join. I can only see when you comment in the chat. So say hello. What's up, Tiff? How are you, Auntie Tiff? Hey, Victor Danny, how are you? What's up, Brittany? Good to see you. Thanks for sharing. Hey, Yolanda. Glad to see everyone. Geez, oh, Pete, it went really good. Hey, Ella. Hey, Terrence. Hey, Amy. Good to see you. Yeah. So, Sunny, I have to follow up on it a little bit more, but I've been told that the VA center back home where I'm from, which is in Northeast Tennessee in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Go Bowling. That 100 workers were escorted out. I guess they were probationary and they are gone and what have you. And so that's just horrendous because there's not enough of them. Hey, Beth Evans, good to see you. What's up, Masani? Hey, Ebony Chainsaw. Skyrider, how are you? What's up, Linda? Good to see you. Hey, think for yourself. Good morning, everybody. All right, so as you can see, I got some stuff I want to talk about today. I want to clear up this thing around. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I want to clear up this thing that you may be hearing about this budget bill that passed the House that still needs to pass the Senate. Thank you for the crown, Skyrider. I appreciate it. I want to talk about that because, you're going to hear people say, oh, it cuts Medicaid. Other people are screaming, no, it doesn't. What's up, Tiny Dreamer? So I want to talk about that just for clarity's sake. And then I'm going to share my thoughts about the messaging. Yeah. What's up, Christy? Good to see you. Just my thoughts on it. As you know, I've got a few. They fired a bunch of folks. Oh, that's horrible. Hey, Blue Honey Pot. Hey, Sherry. Good to see you all. Who else am I seeing? There's lots of folks. So I'm kind of trying to read everybody. Mods. Hey, Jen. Good to see you. So mods, if you, because I do have the words climate change up here and the budget bill. So if there are, shitty trolls in here, I apologize in advance, but I wanted for people to know what we're talking about. What's up, Big C? Insanity is truly contagious. Well, I'm going to explain it to you because of when people are arguing and some people are saying that they are cutting Medicaid and some people are saying that they aren't cutting Medicaid. And, there are people who are saying, oh, well, I went and I looked in the bill and it's not in there. And I want to be able to kind of share those things. So I just looked at a couple of different articles. I do have the bill pulled up and all that sort of thing. And so it's just, we came here to speak on some things today, right? What's up, Queen? So that everybody kind of has some understanding. Okay, so Celia B, when you say they are, period, I would love for you to join the panel. Let's. If you want to join the panel and we can talk about that, we can do that. What I'm going to tell you is that, hey, thank you, Queen. When people say that it's not in the bill, it's not. It doesn't. And let me just make sure that we understand this. They are not that dumb. They are not that dumb to just say in the bill, we're going to cut Medicaid. Like, it's not something that you're going to read. However, the cuts that have been set for a particular committee, and they have said that those cuts cannot come from Medicare and those cuts cannot come from Social Security. So the speculation is the only other place that it could come from would be Medicaid, which is why you hear that. Okay. Hopefully everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I am talking about the brand new budget bill that passed the House, has to pass the Senate, introduced by Texas, Arrington, Jody Arrington. And it is I don't even know what the damn bill name is. House Resolution 14. Thank you. House Resolution 14. Yes, they have to be cut from that specific committee. Correct. And so there's a great little excerpt that I wanted to point out for folks so that you would just, kind of be able to know, because this is the thing for me. I don't just assume that because a particular Democrat said it, that it's true, or that a different Democrat said something different, that it is. Hey, Frank, try to keep up. We're talking about 2025. And Barack Obama hasn't been the president since 2015. So what I would suggest is that we just talk about the things that are happening currently and not the things that happened, almost a decade ago. I want to stay relevant and talk about the things that are actually happening right now. I don't think that whatever Barack Obama did back then has anything to do with the discussion that is taking place right now. And I'm not really sure why, when someone wants to talk about something that is happening today, people want to bring up Barack Obama unless it is coming from a place of unconscious bias, prejudice, or racism. I'm not really sure why that would be a comparable thing to bring up, because, I think what would be more comparable would be to talk about, oh, well, what did Joe Biden do? Or, you know what I mean? Or like something like that. Or what did Trump do in the first administration? But when you have to go all the way back 10 years and you tend to only go back to the Brown president, it gives an indication, it gives an air of bigotry is what it does. I'm not saying that you are a bigot or that you are prejudiced. What I'm sharing with you is the perception that when people are talking about what's happening today, especially when it's a person of color, the first thing that you do is bring up Barack Obama as if Obama is the only president Black people have ever had. We've had them all, right? I just want to throw that in there. Okay. So I want to go ahead and just address the Obama thing. Okay. Now we can move on. Can we not? Hopefully. Great. We can. Good. Not here for any bullshit today, people. I'm just not. We're going to talk about things that really matter. Okay. We're going to do that. So a couple of things to be mindful of about this particular bill. Okay. The word Medicaid, of course, isn't in the bill, because why would they do that? They wouldn't do that. What it is, though, is that they have called for cuts. Give me 1 second. I want to tell you the exact little piece. So it's the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. And that House Committee of Energy and Commerce oversees Medicaid. Okay. And so the resolution calls for $2 trillion worth of federal spending cuts, with 880 billion of those, so not quite half, coming from the Committee of Energy and Commerce. So the Energy and Commerce Committee specifically handles Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And if they have to cut $880 billion and they can't touch Medicare and they can't touch Social Security, then people are going, well, where else could they cut it from except Medicaid? So that is where you get the Democrats saying, good morning, Linda. What's up, Rhonda? Well, I don't know, Rhonda, but it's really not, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So again, this is the thing that's important, is that you can use critical thinking. You can use deductive reasoning. You can use all different types of skills that we've learned in order to kind of make a reasonable, hypothetical, conclusion. Like, you know what I mean? An evidence-based, just kind of factual, just like lead you there. That's what we do when people don't say things directly. Okay. So now, in my opinion, what is the thing that the Democrats are doing that they could be doing differently and more effectively on this issue? I'll share with you what those are. Thank you, Alex, for putting up the guidelines in the room. If you are new to this live, if you are new here, okay. 1, I ask that people be respectful at all times. Number 2, don't use any slurs, because you'll be muted or booted if you do that. Number 3, do not spam my comments. Number 4, do not use all caps, because those are for moderators and those are for a couple of folks that I know that have visual impairments. If that's not you and I don't know about them, then please do not use all caps. Those are the 4 really simple guidelines. So as long as you can do those things, we're going to be just fine. Okay, that's it. So yeah, the Senate has to do the same thing with their budget, but what I want to talk about is so here's what you have is you have mass confusion because you have Democrats saying one thing. What's up, Gary? You have Republicans saying something else. You have people going to the bill and not being able to find Medicaid listed in the bill. So it appears that Democrats are lying, right? Because all they're doing is they're putting out these things that just say Congress, the House Republicans just passed a bill. What's up, Patty? To cut Medicaid by blah 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 blah. Right? Right. I know it's a resolution, Jan. I just said resolution a minute ago. I know what it is. It's resolution 14. I literally just said that. Good morning, Raquel. So the committee is the Energy and Commerce Committee, which is the committee we're talking about, is looking at $880 billion worth of cuts out of the $2 trillion that has to be cut. So if you cannot touch Medicare and you can't touch Social Security, then people are drawing the reasonable conclusion that those cuts would have to come from Medicaid and SNAP, right? So that's what people are talking about. And you're not going to find anywhere in the bill where it says that, hey, because we can't touch Medicare and Social Security, we're going to cut Medicaid and SNAP. They're not going to say that. They know what the bill does. So here's the thing where Democrats could do things differently and, in my humble opinion, more effectively. Feel free to let me know what you think. But to me, thank you for subscribing, Elaine. The better messaging would be this. Okay. The better messaging, the more effective messaging would be House Republicans have passed a bill that will increase the deficit by $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years, which it will, right? Which just increases our debt and requires almost $1 trillion of cuts with regard to healthcare and family provisions. Well, no, sweetie, my math is not bogus. Back again. Why don't you come share me your math? Come share with me your math. Can you do math? Let's just see what you got. Come give me your math. I want to hear it. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear your math, bro. No? Where you at, back again? Come join me. And I will be respectful, even though you weren't respectful to me. I will be respectful to you. Right? I will. Right? I will. All right. So here's what it does. I see you're not coming. It's okay, though. I didn't expect you to be quite frank. What's up, Micro? All right. So here's what it is. Yeah, Savory. That's usually how, now they usually, yeah, that's what happens. All right. So listen, what it does, no, I don't want to go live with you. What it does is it extends the 2017 tax cuts and it implements new ones. That's watermelon. It implements new ones, and the new ones will cost $4.5 trillion over the next decade. So those are for the tax cuts to extend the 2017 tax cuts and implement new ones for those millionaire billionaires folks, right? It will cost $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years. And then, hold on, it also allocates $300 billion for spending on defense and border security. It also raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion over 2 years. And it adds almost $3 trillion to the federal deficit over 10 years. So those are the numbers. Yeah, so Ash, Medicaid expansion it doesn't specifically, so I talked about this. I am at work, Shane. This is the beauty of being self-employed. I am at work. Why aren't you, Shane? Or are you at work stealing from your employer? Shane, are you at work stealing from your employer? I mean, because I employ myself. But you ask me, well, I'm not at work, and I am at work. But are you at work, Shane? Because if you're not at work, why aren't you at work, Shane? And if you are at work, are you stealing from your boss? Damn, Shane. That's horrible. Yeah. It always tickles me when people say, why aren't you at work? Bitch, I am. Why aren't you? You on TikTok with me. What are you talking about? Okay, so right, so that they can become trillionaires. All right. So this is what tickles me. Whether they are bots, trolls, or real people, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, you just look pitiful. So what I explained previously is the budget blueprint, it directs multiple committees to cut billions of dollars. In those committees, there's $880 billion in cuts that are supposed to happen by the Energy and Commerce Committee. Okay, Energy and Commerce Committee has to do with Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. And Trump said that he is not going to cut Medicare or Social Security. So if he's not going to do that, see how quickly you got that? Appreciate you, Alex. No, I'm not saying this is a good tax bill. I'm saying this is a horrible ass tax bill. That's what I'm saying. So what will happen is what people are saying is because okay, let's just pretend this, right? My mods be on it. I love them righteous. So let's just say this. Okay, so let's just say that we all we run a store, and in our store we have 3 products. Okay, the 3 products that we have in our store together are named Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid, and we have to cut back on our spending, right? And we've got 3 of these, and we have been told we cannot cut Medicare and we can't cut back on Social Security, but we have to cut X amount of dollars from our budget. That means the only other place that we could cut it from is going to be the Medicaid / SNAP benefits area, right? Because that's what's left. And so that is why you hear the speculation from people that Medicaid is going to be cut. And they say $800 billion because $880 billion of cuts have to happen. But there's nowhere that says it has to come from Medicaid. It's just saying, listen, it's going to come from this particular committee. And this committee only has a couple of places where they could pull it from, right? Now, what absolutely I think Democrats should be doing is Democrats should stop saying, I'm not sure, Paul, to the music, I would have to check. But let me just say this, folks. Instead of saying that Republicans have voted to pass $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid, right? Instead of saying that, the better thing to say would be to say, hey, the energy, House and Energy, whatever I just said, Budget Committee, Energy and Commerce Committee, they need clear messaging and they don't have it. So they should say, hey, the House and Commerce Committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee, right? They handle Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Trump has said you cannot cut Social Security or Medicare, but the committee has to cut $880 billion of cuts. So the concern is that those cuts will come from Medicaid. Boom, done. 3 damn sentences, and then people would be very clear. And then guess what happens? Guess what happens? When you say it like that, then people can't say, oh, the Democrats are lying. Because that's what they're going to say right now is nowhere in this bill does it say we're going to cut Medicaid, because it doesn't. It doesn't, and it's not going to. But what has to happen is better damn messaging that everyone can understand so that people know. So again, to the Democrats listening, dear God, I hope some of you are. Appreciate you, Alex, right? The word is very simple. No, he said Medicare and he said Social Security. That's what he said. Okay? So it's real simple, right? There's $2 trillion worth of cuts. $880 billion has to come from the Energy and Commerce Committee. The Energy and Commerce Committee handles Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Trump said Medicare, but we're talking about the committees. HHS is who implements the actual money, but Congress, the different committees of Congress is who determines the money. So the committee determines where those cuts take place, and then HHS has to figure out how to run those programs with whatever money is left. Got it? Well, so Michael James, nobody's playing dumb. I think I clearly have stated exactly what it is and why that's the conclusion that people are going to. But the reality is that when you say to the John Q public that they are going to cut Medicaid, and there's nothing in the bill that says that, the right-wing party, which is a whole hell of a lot better at fucking messaging than the Dems are, they are going to take that and run to the bank and say, look at these lying ass leftist liberals who are telling you we're going to do something and that's not in the bill. And the people will go read the damn bill because they don't realize how the damn committee works, and that's what will happen. I'm not pretending shit. What I'm telling you is that the messaging sucks for the rest of the public. That's what I'm saying. It's not in the bill. Go look at the bill and tell me where you find the words that it says it's going to cut Medicaid. Tell me where you find it in the bill. I have the bill. I have the, not the bill, but the resolution. I have the resolution pulled up right here. I have House Resolution pulled up right here. House Resolution 14, 119th Congress. Nowhere does it say that they're going to cut Medicaid. It doesn't say that. And just for shits and giggles, folks, you can pull it up. You can do a Control F or Command F if you're a Mac person, and you can type in Medicaid. Guess what it won't find in the bill? The damn word Medicaid. Now, if you type in the word Medicare in the bill, it is in there. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to say it again so that everybody hears what I'm saying to you. All right? So this is it. In all of the cutting, and I'm going to go back and give the rest of the information, but here's what it says. All right? So there is $880 billion that has to be cut by the Energy and Commerce Committee. Stop right there. That's the fact. Okay? $880 billion in cuts, spearheaded by the Energy and Commerce Committee. Got it? Energy and Commerce handles Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Thank you, Alex. Okay? Appreciate you, Red Hot. So if Trump says you cannot cut Medicare and Social Security, that leaves Medicaid as the only option. And that is the majority of Medicaid's damn allotment. So, Carol, apparently you don't know shit about Medicaid. So you want to talk about it, I'm inviting you to the panel, Carol. Come talk about it. If you're a real person and not a troll, your thing says, let's talk about Medicaid. It is welfare. They can't get a job. They can get a job. They didn't touch Medicare, the elderly. Come, Carol. Come to the panel. I will be respectful. Let's talk about it. Because apparently, A, you don't know what welfare is. B, you don't know about Medicaid. C, you don't know that you can have a job and still get Medicaid. Yeah. I'm waiting for you, Carol. So, oh, is truth back? Oh, you know what, y'all? Truth over narrative. Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate it. Truth, are you back? How are you? You can't stay awake. You can't stay awake. Come on, Truth. Come see me. You've been up here before. I told you, you are either an undercover Democrat, like it's down in there somewhere in your soul. You are a progressive somewhere down deep, or you have a crush. And either way, ain't really like, I don't really care. I'm just saying, there is something in your subconscious that knows you need to hear what I be telling people, because you come here all the time. You come here all the time. Bless it. Can you imagine just how sad you have to be to go into spaces that you don't like? Who would do that? Can you imagine if I spent my whole damn day going into MAGA GOP Republican lives? Could you imagine? Good God. No, thank you. Shoo-wee. And you know what's funny? When they come in here for me, they're only going to say one of a couple of things. They're either going to say some shit about Obama that don't have nothing to do with nothing I'm talking about, but just because I'm melanated enough, I got enough melanin in there, they're going to bring up Obama. Right? That's going to happen at least once. The next thing that's going to happen is, why ain't you working? Why don't you have a job? Don't be mad because I'm self-employed. I do. Do you? Because if you have a job, why the fuck ain't you at work? And if you are at work, I hope you're on break and not committing fraud. Right? That's the second thing they always say. And then the third thing they say is, you're spewing misinformation. And then when I let them come on up here and say, come on, come tell me how, come give me accurate information, they don't ever come. They get real quiet and leave. That's what they do. Oh, wait. There's a couple of others. It's the other ones are the other ones might be some reference to me being gay or trans, something about that, or something about not liking my haircut, as if I need anybody else to like my haircut. See, this is the thing that's wrong with people. You think women give a fuck what everybody else thinks about us. I have my haircut for me. I wear it the way I want for me. Whether you like it or not, don't have nothing to do with nothing. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Y'all know Eddie Murphy, right? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Yeah, like for real. As long as I look in the mirror and go, damn girl. Y'all know Jennifer Lewis? Y'all know Jennifer Lewis? Auntie Jennifer, right? What does she say? Auntie Lewis said, I have a routine. I get up in the morning, and she said, I look in the mirror. Thank you, Skywriter. She said, I look in the mirror and I go, damn, you a fine bitch. Listen, we not here for you. The days where the days where women would wake up before their husbands to get up and put on makeup and brush their hair 100 strokes, they are long gone. We wear shit the way we want to. So, just saying, ain't nobody doing that no more. Women used to do that, Cheryl. They used to, 100%. Now, back to business. I'm going to read some other numbers that are really important. Hey, Sharon. What's up, Teresa? For everyone to realize about the bill, okay? And I want to talk a little bit because I was listening into some of the stuff happening in Congress today, right? I was listening to Doug LaMalfa from California, Republican. And I was listening to Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who I love. Thanks, Donna. Also talking. And it's funny because both of them were talking about climate change and like CO2 emissions and EPA restrictions and oil and gas and all of that. So you've got to be a bot of some kind. It just tickles me. Yeah. So, all right, let's pop over here. So let me give you the numbers again, just so that everybody gets it. All right. So the House's plan. What's up, Valerie? How are you? Thank you, Alex. Alex is on it today. The House's plan sets up this reconciliation bill. And the first thing is it extends, what's up, Vladimir? It extends the 2017 tax cuts and implements some new ones on top of that. And the cost will be $4.5 trillion over the next decade. So just go ahead and put 4.5 T. So you know that's the first cost. What's up, Mama? Mama Dukes. What's up, Jennifer? Okay. Thanks, William. He is very intelligent. Hey, Erica. Oh, thanks, Erica. I love that you're listening to the new podcast episode that came out today. No problem, Gary. Take care of you. So let me just say this. So Sharon Harrison, you probably already know this, but if you all have not ever gone to Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's congressional page, what's up, Shorty, and read his report around the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings in 2018, do yourself a favor and do that. It is extensive. It is fantastic. It is amazing. It is chock full of incredible facts that are astounding, right? Yeah, I know. I said it's a resolution, Joe. Forgive me if I mix my words up. We know it's a resolution. It's House Resolution 14. I know what it is. All right. What's up, Will Knowledge? Good to see you. What's up, Diane? All right. So first thing, $4.5 trillion over 10 years for the extension of tax cuts and the addition of tax cuts. Yeah, Sharon, but I'm going to say it again in just a second. And that would be, we already know the tax cuts are for the ultra rich, right? That's what it is. Next. The next thing is it also allocates $300 billion on spending for defense and border security. And it also raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion over just 2 years. Can you imagine that? We're going to raise the debt ceiling by $4 trillion over 2 years in this House resolution. And then it will add almost $3 trillion to the federal deficit over 10 years. Okay. Nope, the tax cuts weren't permanent. The tax cuts ran out this year, 2025. So that's right. This is the part that I think that people should be talking about. Oh my God. It says there's a flash goal. Y'all know they did this shit to me yesterday. So the little heart me thing, it says 40 different people need to send that little heart me thing in 15 minutes. I don't know what these things mean, but that's what it is. Appreciate you guys. TikTok has started new stuff on the live, y'all. And so I just try to pay attention so they don't smack my hands. Yes, let me tell you, Rhonda, I absolutely love Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. I think that he is incredibly knowledgeable. He is straight to the point. He is upfront. Yeah, TikTok's getting new. And he's just a great source of information. I love the fact that, so let me just say this, and then we'll move on. One of the things that I really like about Senator Sheldon Whitehouse is he promised Ms. Ford that he would get to the bottom of what happened with the we're in a subwave too, right? I guess 3 more in I don't know. It went away. What's up, Javi and Kermit? So let me just say this. He says, but he promised her back in 2018 he would get to the crux of what happened with the extra week extension for Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings and the investigation, the supplemental investigation. It matters to me that man has stayed on it for 6 years until he got the answers that he promised her he would get. It matters to me. I just go, that's somebody that has integrity. That is someone who says, oh, it doesn't matter that the moment has passed. All right, Big C. It doesn't matter that, he's already been confirmed. You know what I mean? He just said, his name is he's Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. And matter of fact, the report that I'm talking about the Kavanaugh supplemental investigation that was done by Sheldon Whitehouse, it is in my link tree. So if you are on Facebook, in my about section, my link tree is there. Thanks, Alex. If you are on YouTube, in my little YouTube profile, my link tree is there. And if you are on TikTok and you click my face twice, it'll take you out of this live. But on my on my TikTok profile, the link tree is also there. And there's a ton of information in there on a lot of different things that are there. But the report that I'm talking about, because the final report just came out last October, I believe, by Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, it's there. And it's a great read. So the reason I have these three things up here is because they are the three things that I want to talk about. Not to say that they are all connected, but just to say that these are the three things that I'm talking about, which is the budget bill, Medicaid, and climate change. So I have a show spewing nothing but lies. How funny. You have a fake ass account that trolls for no reason. How pitiful. Did we get the 40? We got 37 of them. It has to be 3 more different people that send the little heart me. Listen, you got a fake ass account that trolls people. Love that for you. Righteous Giggles. I don't think she's ordered it yet. I think she's still choosing between 2. Right. I'm just like, y'all just sad. But anyway. Okay, so let me say this to you guys. I just lost it because there's these 3 things doesn't mean that they are necessary. Thank you, Candy Kiss. That these are related. So yes, we hit it. Appreciate you guys. Love it. He's essentially that's being investigated by Congress. Sheldon Whitehouse. Nope. So his name is Sheldon Whitehouse, not Shelton. So no, different people. Nope. And let me just say this. Can I say this? How should I say this? Hold on. Let me see how I want to say this. How do I want to say this? Thank you for subscribing, by the way. Thank you for gifting subscriptions, whoever's doing that, either or whoever. Let me just say this. At this point, if there was a Democrat in Congress, let me just say this. If Sheldon Whitehouse was being investigated by Congress, I would give 0 fucks because he's incredible. I would give 0 fucks. It would be, I would expect that if they could investigate him, I would expect them to, because he pulls no punches. He has found out all the information and he holds them accountable. So you know what? He gets in good, necessary trouble, and I love him for it. So, yeah, people act like sometimes being investigated by certain people is a bad thing or whatever. So if you come from a world of Black and brown people, we know that the government is often weaponized against us when they would like to shut us up. Just ask Martin Luther King Jr. Just ask Marcus Garvey. Just ask Malcolm X. Just ask John Lewis just asked, like literally, it's not a thing. Just because, quote unquote, the law or Congress is investigating you doesn't mean shit, especially if you are on the right side of history. Just saying. But that was a nice try. But no, not that Shelton. This is Sheldon White House. Two different people. As y'all can see, I'm like I'm pulling no punches today. Senator from Rhode Island, correct. Phew. Y'all on one today. They really mad because I put climate change up here, ain't they? Okay. So, yeah, the trolls are doing their thing. It is so funny because I always know what words are going to set them off. It's funny, like how, like if listen, the day all I had to do was put up a picture of Kendrick, they lost their damn minds. I put up a picture of Kendrick Lamar and Samuel L. Jackson, and they lost their ever loving minds. They didn't know what to do. And then the day that I had the gold Trump statue, and then I had Jesus bowing down like they did at CPAC. Listen, don't be mad at me because you don't know science. Oh, and see, look, he just did it. You see it, girl? He said, your hairdresser lost their mind. This is what's funny to me. As if I give a fuck what somebody thinks about my hair. I cut my own hair, bro. I cut my own hair. What's up, Roland? This is the thing that's funny to me. Baby carrot men are so funny. Because what I would love is for any of you baby carrot keyboard warrior men that would like to say something, come to the panel. Come to the panel. Come on, give it a whirl. Yes, I call them baby carrots. Yes. Baby carrot men. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I want them to do. Come join me, baby carrot men. Good afternoon, Scott. How are you? Oh, hold on. I need to turn you up. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, I'm just doing just great. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing fantastic, bitch. Do you have something that you'd like to say? Like that's actually like, I don't know, that is meaningful or has something to do with the subject matters at hand or anything?
All I know is that you're a big fucking crybaby.
Really?
Yeah. All you've done is cried since Trump's been your president.
Really?
And all he's doing is great things for us.
What's he doing that's great, Scott? What's he doing?
You don't want all this money to be
saved? Scott, name the things. Name Scott. Okay, listen, we're going to do this respectfully. We're going to do it respectfully. We're going to do it respectfully, Scott. I know it's hard. I mean, you're not, but I know you're not, but I know being respectful is hard. I know that it's hard. I know that it's hard to be respectful. I don't expect you to be hard. But my question, Scott, is, so Scott, the question is, so Scott, here's the question. Scott, why are you so angry? Why are you so angry, Scott? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? I'm here for you. I'm here for you, Scott. Who hurt you? Who hurt you, Scott?
Trump sends you every month.
Did she break your heart? It was a woman.
What do you do with all the money?
Was she your cousin or just like somebody you went to school with?
You fucking lesbian bitch.
You're trying really hard.
Where's your fucking hair at, bitch?
I don't know. The same place your dick is, I guess. Are you okay? Did she break your heart? Lolly me. Listen, the first thing he thought was when he popped in with that dude. Well, I don't know, bitch. How are you? And they say black women are angry. No, it's you, Scott. It's you. And they hate it. They hate it when they can't make you mad. They hate it when they can't make you mad. And you heard him, he tried every word he could think of. Dude didn't make me mad, so he thought he'd try bitch. Bitch didn't make me mad, so he thought he'd try cunt. Like he tried. Bless it. It's okay. I don't know who she is, but whatever woman broke his heart, I'm just saying. And then what tickled me was, oh, we're going to do this respectful. We're going to do, I mean, I know it's hard. I mean, you're not, but I know being respectful is hard. And you would think, here's what I have noticed. You actually support Trump. So why are you mad? Like, you should be happy as fuck right now. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Your candidate won. Why are you mad? And why and why are you so mad? You coming in here. Can y'all imagine? Do y'all think if Kamala Harris had won this election that I would spend my day going into MAGA lives? Can you imagine? Can you imagine your candidate wins and you still ain't got nothing better to do than be mad as fuck going in the opposition's lives? So we have a phrase for that down here in the South. And it goes something like this. Bless your heart. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. That's what it does. Bless your heart. Okay. Anyway. All right. So, yep. And what's funny to me is there is no, so this is how you know that someone sends people here. And I'll tell you how you know. I don't have anything up here that says anything about MAGA, GOP, Democrats. There's nothing on my thing that says that at all. So if you come into this space and all I'm doing is telling you what's in the bill, and if you listen, I'm actually criticizing the way that the Democrats are doing the messaging. And you come in and you just make a, so like, where did you come from? Somebody sent you, my dude. Somebody sent you, my dude. Right? I don't know, Brianna. It's a bit though. It's a bit. So, hey, Paul, how are you? Hello.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Were you trying to?
I'm doing quite well.
Were you trying to come up? Sorry. Go.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I hear you also. I have my volume probably turned up enough. But anyway, I happened to be scrolling through when I ran into the a little rant that was going on by, I guess his name was Scott or whatever.
Right.
And you mentioned that, he was angry. I think the majority, I'm going to say, I think the majority of the voters that voted for Trump are bad. I think they're angry because they're starting to realize, but they just haven't been able to admit it to themselves that they got took. Yeah. I think I really feel that they think that everything that he promised during the campaign was just going to be fulfilled and life was going to be cherries and berries for them. And now that they're seeing a lot of what his policies are aimed at and who is being hurt directly, it's hurting them.
Yes.
And they're angry and they're venting, and I think they're just lashing out at anyone who remotely reminds them of a Harris voter.
Yeah, I had said this a while back that I think that folks who voted for Trump are angry, but they're not even really angry at me. I think they're angry with themselves. You know how how when people tell you don't date that person, and you're like, oh no, they're not that way. They're really good, and everybody's like, no, that person's lying to you, but you date them anyway. And then when they cheat on you, or then when they do whatever, and you're like, damn, I got took. It was them. It was really them all along, right? Then but you can't be mad. You're mad at you, but you take it out on the people who told you not to date the person, and that's kind of what they're doing now.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just, it's self-denial.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't understand that what they view America as is close to what they want it to be under policies by Trump currently, but it's just not it's just not happening fast enough.
Yeah, I think there's a lot.
I think they get a rise out of seeing people hurt and struggle.
I think that, this is where I go to the Lyndon B. Johnson quote. And while his quote was specifically about racial differences, I think it applies, period. When he says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best black man, he won't mind you picking his pockets. Matter of fact, if you give him anybody to look down on, he'll empty his pockets for you. And,
yes, exactly.
And that's what it is. And so what the Trump campaign and the Republican Party did really, really well was they gave them people to look down on, especially immigrants and people like that. And so when you did that, they were, for goodness sake, they bought tennis shoes and NFTs and cereal boxes and, talking fit. You know what I mean? They really did empty their pockets for a billionaire's legal defense fund. So it's just interesting,
It all ties in with Nixon's Southern strategy, when he started slowly coaxing the white Democrats in the South into the Republican Party, and they said, look, we're going to just use the dog whistles. We're not going to be blatant in how we feel towards the colored community or minorities. But we'll just use our dog whistles, and you guys don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you'll fall in line, and eventually we'll just turn this around. Oh, and by the way, I started watching the documentary 13th last night.
Awesome.
And let me tell you, it's an awakener.
Yeah.
And I really wish that more people would tune into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not done with it yet, but so far it really does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. AJW, good to see you. I thought about you last night. Paul, let me ask you, if you don't mind, may I ask your age?
I'm 70.
Okay, that's what I figured because my uncles are around the 80, 84 age. And so let me just, and because people had a reaction when you use the word colored community. And people had a reaction in the comments. And so that's why I wanted them to understand the age. See how everybody says, oh, I understand now.
I understand. Okay.
It was that natural reaction because so Mila, not so loud, girl. She talks so loud. Yeah, Jose, my uncles did. They are descendants of immigrants. They're from European immigrants. Because the uncle I'm talking about is white, dumbass.
Yeah, it's that blind spot we were talking about.
Yes, it is.
Unconsciously, you revert to terminology that you think you feel safe with.
Yeah.
Because this is what you thought was the proper
term.
thing.
Yeah. It's like I use this as an example. So I was doing a live one time, and my one of my friends was on, and I was talking about LGBTQIA individuals, and I referred to they have a right to their lifestyle. And my friend, I was thinking that I was using the right terminology. Now, granted, this was back in 2019, I guess. And my friend hit me up afterwards. She's a lesbian, and she said, "Hey, listen," she said, "it's not a lifestyle. A lifestyle is if you like going to the gym or you like hiking or that's a lifestyle. But a life is just who you are and who you love." And I was like, got it. And as soon as she made that distinction for me, I've never said lifestyle again. Right?
Okay.
It's a life.
That makes sense.
And so, but this is what I love about it is just being able to say, "Ooh, you know what? Thank you for sharing." Because when you are a real ally, number one, you don't get offended when someone offers you feedback or a way to be a better ally. Because here's the thing, I don't get to say that I'm an ally. It's that community that gets to determine if I'm an ally. So if the people that I want to help and to protect and to defend, if those people can't give me feedback, then I'm not really an ally, right? It's up to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that with me using the terminology, just before I retired, I've been retired now for 8 years. I worked in the medical industry, and I was in supply chain management, which basically was supplying the hospital with anything and everything needed, from Band-Aids, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a young lady that worked in the department, and she took offense to me one day when I referred to her as being African American.
Mm.
And I go, "Why did that offend you?"
Yeah.
Because I'm black. And I go, "Oh, okay." And so she goes, I am not African. I'm American.
Yes.
And I go, "Oh, okay. Well, I thought I was being polite and saying African American."
And you were. And you were. Listen, and this is the thing. There's always going to be people that are outside the norm, and people who might have a preference one over the other. But for me, I wouldn't be offended because you didn't call me a word that was intended to be offensive, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's the difference. It wouldn't have bothered me because you were trying to use a word that is appropriate. It's not like you were saying Negro. You know what I mean? That would have had a different connotation.
Yeah, it's like myself. I refer to myself as Mexican American.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my group, we look at me and they go, "Well, why don't you refer yourself as Spanish? Or why don't you refer yourself as Chicano?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just refer yourself as American? Because you're born here in the United States." I go, "Well, I guess I could just like maybe tap into any one of them if I chose to, but I feel that I more am associated with Mexican American because the majority of my ancestral roots are from Mexico, tied in with colonization from Spain, yes, but still the majority of it is indigenous American and Native American."
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of them things. But anyway, hey, I enjoy listening to your shows.
I appreciate it.
And I'll continue listening to you, and more power to you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Paul. Definitely make sure you come back when you finish the documentary.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so for those of you guys who were asking, a couple of days ago when I was live, I had asked everyone to watch the documentary 13th. Now, yes, it is streaming on Netflix, and Netflix actually made it available for free on YouTube. It's literally called 13th, like 13th. If you just go to YouTube and you put in 13th documentary, it's there, right? And matter of fact, the podcast episode that I just did today that's been released on my podcast is about that documentary and a lot of the information that's in it. So people who are subscribers that are in my subscribers Discord, we do different types of documentary viewings, different kinds of movie viewings. We've watched Bad Faith. We've watched A Storm Foretold. We've watched Unfit. We've watched a number of different things. And so this past Sunday, we watched 13th together. And if you have never seen it, I will tell you now that it is a difficult watch. It is a difficult watch. And I have watched it 3 times. Every time I watch it, I pick up a new piece of information, or maybe it's information that I heard, but there's so much in it. It is so dense. It is so dense and so powerful and so informative. The people that, so if you guys were in here on and you were on the Zoom with me when we watched on Sunday, you can attest to how emotional I got, especially by the end of the documentary. If you are someone who is empathetic or compassionate, or who has the ability to feel, and be completely vulnerable, it is very, very, at different times at different times I would be angry. At different times I would be frustrated. And many times I would just be devastated, because it is very, it's a very hard watch, but it is packed full of really great information. No, Donna, it wasn't in the resolution. There was no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security. None of that was in the resolution. No. So it's a very, very powerful watch. It's not an when you say what episode, what do you mean? Right, Blue Honey Pot. If they lived it, we can watch it, and we all live it now. So and here's what it does that in a fantastic way is it brings you all the way through. It brings you all the way through from the documentary is 13th. That's the name of it. Thanks, Pamela. I appreciate that. So that's the documentary's name, and it takes you all the way through, not just the 13th Amendment, which, by the way, you will hear me if you listen to the podcast episode that I just did today. I talk about this because as I was preparing for the podcast episode, and I was just putting down some dates and things so that I could refer to them. Thank you, Mark. It's also on YouTube for free. If you don't have Netflix, it's on YouTube as well. But so one of the things that stuck out to me today as I was writing down, like I was making like little notes of where I wanted points that I wanted to make. And so, you know, the 13th Amendment passed the Senate in 1864. It passed the House in 1865, and it was ratified in 1865, right? But the fact that it passed the Senate in 1864, because normally in my brain, I just think, oh, it was passed and ratified in 1865. But when I read that it had passed the Senate in 1864, but had not passed the House, immediately that number stuck out to me, 1864. And the reason it stuck out to me is it took 100 years. It took 100 years to go from the 13th Amendment and realizing that Black people should not be property and enslaved, to understanding that we should have civil rights. Isn't that something? 100 years. How does it take 100 years to realize that people should not be property, but yet not feel that they should have rights? From 1864 to 1964. So I want you all to think about that. It has not been 100 years that we've had civil rights. We're not at 2064, are we? We're still 40 years from that. And look how much we haven't come, how far we haven't come, even now. When people say it was so long ago, it was not. It was not that long ago. And I think that people really need to have a moment when we think about segregation. My parents, I don't even need Ruby Bridges. My parents grew up in segregation. My parents did. My parents grew up having to be married in Washington, D.C. because they were an interracial couple. And you couldn't get married everywhere, especially not in the South, as an interracial couple. Right? So today's podcast episode, which is on, it's on wherever you are, wherever you listen to podcasts at. So whether it's Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, wherever you listen to them at, the show is up there. It's the Danny Cook Show, and yeah, there you go. So yeah, no, my parents were born. My mom was born in 45. She graduated in 63. She was 18 years old. Right? So it's important for people to anyway, so that's what the episode is about. Do you need help?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. It's Mila. Come here. What do you need? Good job. Mwah. Okay. Don't put your hands on my face. Thank you. But you did. I love you. Okay. Mwah. All right, move, girl. Let me finish. Okay. And yeah. So anyway, so that podcast episode is up there. Okay. Yeah. So I think that what people don't realize is that, you know, even when schools were integrated, like with, hey, Jesse, with Ruby Bridges, you know, her teacher stayed there and taught her by herself because people wouldn't send their children to school. Right. Yeah. So I would just double check that. And DT Rocha, I would just call them up and see what is going on. That's what I would do. What's up, John? How are you? Oh, do we have somebody that says that? Yeah, Allie G, I do. I'm from Tennessee. Yep, I know what's happening in Tennessee with regard to lots of things, not just interracial marriage, but give me 1 second. So one of the things that when he was talking about the Southern strategy and he was talking about Lee Atwater and all of that. So no, it's the entire state of Tennessee. Oh no, you're asking where I'm from. I'm from Northeast Tennessee, literally the other end of the state. We're 10 hours apart. I don't know. You would have to call them and ask. Yes, North Dakota has lost their mind as well. But so the reason that I have climate change up here is for a reason. So today, what I did was and I'll tell you what I really wish. I wish that Gay had been watching Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. I wish that Gay had been watching Senator Sheldon Whitehouse today on the House, on the floor today in Congress, because the way that he so clearly connected the dots between climate change, you know, the spills, the lack of EPA guidelines, the increase in CO2, all the way he was able to connect them to insurance and then to mortgages. It was beautiful. And he specifically talked about the state of Florida. So if there's anybody watching who has an in with District 1 Democratic candidate Gay, I can't remember her last name, with her campaign, they should 100% go watch the video today because he did a phenomenal job of tying all of those things together in an incredible way. And so that's the reason why I have it up here today. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So I was watching, I watched C-SPAN today and I watched it, Gay Valamont. Thank you, Carol. So I was watching it. I watched the House floor for a bit, and then I watched the Senate floor. And when I watched the House floor, you had Representative Doug LaMalfa from California. He's a Republican. And so he is on there and he's talking about, you know, the fires and not being able to manage the forest appropriately because, you know, the Dems won't let them, and they're trying to kind of take away everything that's gas and, you know, generators and this, you know, all the things. And then he proceeds to talk about the Obama administration. Funny how that works, ain't it? But talking about how the Obama administration had talked about CO2 and that CO2 was bad for climate change and that the science was done with it, right? the real JCat, they didn't. And what I would recommend that you do is not spew misinformation in the live. If you do that, then you'll get muted or booted. And if you believe that you are accurate, then just join the panel and you and I can discuss it. But nobody voted against no tax on tips or no tax on Social Security because it wasn't in the bill. Okay. Yeah, they do, Max. What's up, old school? So let me tell you what he was saying. So the guy in California, the Republican rep, was talking about how CO2 is so good for our trees and our plants, and that's how, and he literally said, if you go back to like basic science when we were in school. So how many of you all know that the science that we learned in grade school that simply said, we breathe out carbon dioxide and the plants clean it and give us oxygen? How many of you all know that that's not enough science to accurately manage the world's atmosphere? I would think that we all would understand that that's not enough math to like take everything into consideration. But he literally brought this up. You can go watch it on C-SPAN. And he's talking about how, in fact, people know that plants do so well in higher levels of CO2 that there are people that are making greenhouses and they are specifically putting plants in there and they are adding extra CO2 to make them grow faster so that you can have, tomatoes, that was his example, faster and whatever, right? And so this was his reasoning as to why this whole CO2 thing and climate change was good and not a thing. Yeah, and that was before the tons of factories that we have and all the things. But here's the thing that I thought immediately. I thought to myself, well, that would be great if we didn't have mass deforestation happening as well. We don't have the same amount of plant life in the world that we used to, do we? Don't we have a problem with deforestation? I believe we do. And so we need to understand that right. And then the deregulations of EPA and DEQ and all of that. So, but that little elementary reasoning in my brain wasn't enough. Y'all know me. I had to go look. I had to go look because Angel, I said what you said. We need plants and trees for that to work, right? And so yeah, we are losing the Amazon. And so I went to go look because here's what I know. I don't know. I'm not an expert in all things. And what I know is that there are people that are better equipped, more informed, and better educated in certain areas about things than I am. And so I want to listen to those people who are experts in their field. I mean, call me crazy, but I just think that there's a reason that people are experts in different things, And so I believe I want to go hear what somebody else says about that rather than just me, right? So I did. And so I went to this great article by MIT. Now, I would think that the folks at MIT probably have a better grip on the science behind climate change than the representative from California and his elementary math that we need plants for oxygen and that they breathe our CO2. I would think that the folks over at MIT who have a whole, I would just think, right? So I'll listen to those people. And so I literally put in a question about CO2, dangerous in the atmosphere, but good for plants and all the things, right? Right, Cheryl. And so I got this great article, and so I'm looking at it, and they absolutely address, and this article, by the way, is from last year, January 8, 2024. And so it specifically says, because plants use carbon dioxide to grow, it's tempting to think they might prefer a planet with more atmospheric CO2 than is present today. That's not necessarily so, right? And so they go through this whole thing where they explain it is true that plants love CO2. During photosynthesis, they take in carbon dioxide, which we know. And with the assistance of water and sunlight, they make energy for themselves while releasing oxygen for us to breathe. Now, let's just stop right there. What's up? Okay, you can tell me. We're going to take that one sentence. Can we just stop right there before I go any further, right? So it says, during photosynthesis, they take in carbon dioxide, and then it says something really important. What does it say? It says, and with the assistance of water and sunlight, they make energy for themselves. So carbon dioxide in and of itself is not enough. So what if you are doing things to the environment that is changing the amount of sunlight we do and don't get, the type, like the level of sunlight that we do and don't get? What if you are doing things to the environment that is tainting the water, polluting the water, like pipeline spills and different things like that? What if, right, the whole nine, right? So if you, like, I didn't even get but one sentence in, and I could have stopped right there and educated the representative in California and said, you missed a couple things. It's not just the carbon dioxide that they give the plants. There's a reason that they are in the greenhouse. There's a reason that they are in a greenhouse so that they can control the environment. We don't control the environment like worldwide, right? So just adding a shit ton of CO2 to the atmosphere without being able to control the environment is a dumbass idea. So then they go on to say, they go talk about all of these things, and they say climate change, which is driven by excessive CO2, deepens droughts in places like the American West, and that reduces the water supply. And so the plants there have a decrease in water supply while simultaneously increasing the risk of catastrophic wildfires. Right. Imagine that, Angel. We can't control the sun. And then it says in other places, plants will have to cope with more frequent disasters like flooding and heat stress and exposure to salt water from rising seas and an increase in pests that enjoy warmer winters. And so MIT does a great job of explaining literally in just one or two paragraphs why this Republican representative's argument today in Congress made no damn sense and is dangerous. And here's the part that bothers me. Okay. Here's the part that really bothers me, because he was able to say to people, don't you remember when we were taught this in school? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this. And people will remember being taught that in school. And 54% of the country reads at a 6th grade level, right? There will be people that just go, yep, that makes perfect sense. I remember that. And yeah, climate change is a hoax. There will be people that's where they fall. And it's not because they're dumb. It's not because they're whatever. It's just because of who they are. Right? And so that's the danger. This is where I personally believe that this immunity that we give elected officials, where politicians can say whatever the fuck they want to say that's misleading to people, I believe they should be held accountable. If your language causes harm, you should be able to be held accountable. Dave, please don't spam the comments. Do not spam the comments, Dave. You're saying the same thing over and over again. Do not spam the comments. And my thing is I don't have to understand everything about the environment. What I do, though, is I look up what the folks who do understand it, the folks who go to school, the folks who it is their, like, that's their specialty. There's a reason that people become subject matter experts on certain things. And so I believe them. Period. Right. Them damn sharks and batteries, Titus. And so it doesn't take much. And so I went from listening to him. I know, Alex. So I went from listening to him to then switching over to listen to the Senate today. And when I was listening to the Senate, I was listening to Sheldon Whitehouse, and he was so brilliant when he was able to talk about, y'all, in this one conversation around EPA guidelines and the oil and gas industry and all of those things and spills and all of that, right? He was able to talk about not only that, but he was able to talk about Citizens United. He was able to talk about, the Chevron deference. He was able to bring in, and get this, then he brought it into, he said, there are some reports now. What's up, Gummy Nerd? He says, we are being told, girl, we should have gotten rid of Alec a long ass time ago. But he says, listen, there are some warnings now that we are getting that in 15 years or so, we will not be able to get mortgages in certain parts of the country. And that got my attention. I wanted to know what he meant. Have any of you all ever heard this? That in about 15 years, that there are reports, there are warnings that in 15 years, we won't be able to get mortgages in certain parts of the country. So this is how beautifully he tied this together. And this is why I said gay Valamont's people need to pick these talking points up, because they were powerful. Because here's the thing, when you can make a situation economic, you will tend to get Republicans and conservatives to listen better. And VJ, yes, he started with Florida. That's why I said Gay Valamont should be listening to him. So here's what he said. He said, so here's what's happening. The changes that we are having, what do you mean no house will be? No, I didn't say no house will be built. What I said is you will not be able to get a mortgage. And the reason I said that is because mortgages require insurance, homeowners insurance. Okay. And so this is how it works. He said, listen, when you have climate change already causing unpredictable weather patterns, like we just saw with Western North Carolina and Northeast Tennessee getting hit with a hurricane. You got it? Do y'all know how rare that is? Like nobody in the mountains of Northeast Tennessee and North Carolina and Western North Carolina thought about a damn hurricane. That's just not a thing, right? So he's talking about the fact that we have such unpredictable weather patterns as a result of what's changing. And he said insurance companies need those predictable weather patterns to be able to project their risk. Okay. And when the climate change has such a large crisis that insurance companies have their own crisis because they will not be able to determine risk, then that means there will be a mortgage industry crisis because you will not be able to, he said, so now go back and think somewhere like what happened in 2008. Holy shit, y'all. I was like, damn, I've never heard a single damn talk about it like that. And why isn't every progressive candidate talking about it like that? Why aren't they taking it from environment to industry to economic impact? If you take any situation and you take it from environment, bodily autonomy, to I don't care what it is, take education, whatever, then take it from there to corporation, and then take it to economic impact, and you will have a valid talking point for moderates, for rhino Republicans, for everybody, even some folks that believe they're MAGA until they realize that that would be a detriment to them and their families. Right? Well, it's not hard for me to care about nope and nope about red states because Trump supporters aren't the only people who live in those states. And even if they were, I still don't want to see children and elderly people and people who need health insurance not be able to access health care. It's not about feeling sorry for them. It is 100% being able to be compassionate and empathetic, because at the end of the day, they are still human beings. They are still human beings. So it's not hard for me to feel bad for them, because they're still human beings. And just because some of them might not act like it towards me, it doesn't matter, because their behavior and their thought process does not dictate the way that I live. Don't blow spit bubbles, sissy. Chucky. Okay? And then she said, I know. Jesus. Yes, babe.
I made you.
Oh, you said you didn't mean to?
Yeah.
Okay, well then don't do it again. Okay.
Now I'll play different.
So, and so this is where I think it's just important. When should you leave? Flower Vine, I can't tell you that. What I would recommend is I would recommend going to C-SPAN today, and I would recommend listening to the section from it's Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who talked about from climate to insurance to mortgage, and he specifically talked about Florida. That was on this morning. It was on today, and then I would dig a little bit deeper. His website probably has resources and things like that for you to be able to go. So I'm just saying to you, all of these things are connected together, and what we have to be about the businesses of is messaging and communicating it better. Sergeant Mage, where can you tell me this, brilliant person that can read? Can you share with me where up here it says that Medicaid is being cut? Because you came in here on 100. So I want to ask you, because your statement is they're not cutting Medicaid. They're not doing anything bad. It's not even a bill yet. Jesus, you people. I don't know who the fuck, number one, you people is. But number two, where did I say they're cutting Medicaid? Just asking. You're welcome, Linda. Have a good day. And yes, I know it's a resolution, but resolution was too long to type, so I just put bill. I know the damn difference. But Sergeant Major, where you at? Please feel free to request to come up to the panel so we can talk about it together. And I'll be respectful, even though you came in being an asshole. No? Where'd you go, Sergeant Mage? I don't see you now. Where'd you go? I hope you're still here. This is the part that just like, okay, you think you got something to say. Let's go. Sonny, just people coming here spouting off them jaws. That's it. Girl, you know they either driving at work, can't talk, just got off the third shift. Like they always got a reason to not come to this daggone panel though, don't they? So anyway, so this is the reason. I'm just saying, yep, doing dishes, cooking dinner, all the things. All the things. Right, BJ, all the things. So it tickles me max when they come in and yep, feeding the baby Brandy. We know all of them, don't we? And I said, how the fuck you driving and texting, but you can't drive and talk? What? Okay, though. Not he was going to come to the panel, but a shark ate his battery. I cannot with you. So here's my thing, folks. We have to be better. And this is what I would love for all of us. So all of us that have been in here listening today, I'm just saying, Stacy, for all of us that have been in here listening today, to be about the messaging, right? We can't rely on the Democratic Party to get it right. So what has to happen is all of us have to do our part. All of us, because remember when we say we need to do all the things. We do need that. Okay, so you can do it with the power of your social media, and then your circles number 1 and circles number 2. So let me ask you guys this question. So who remembers, who's been with me for a while, and you were in here when we talked about our circles? We had circle number 1, circle number 2, and circle number 3. Somebody tell me what circle number 1 is. Circle number 1 is things that we what? Circle number 1 is what? I love can control, right? Circle number 1 are the things that we can control, which is typically only going to be us. My thoughts, my actions, my words, my behaviors, right? My attitude, my work ethic, like those are the things that I can control. Typically what's in circle number 1 is going to be all about you. And that's why it's the circle most people like to avoid. Yeah, Kimberly, I do them on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And so circle number 2 is what? Circle number 2 is what? If circle number 1 is whatever you can control, what is circle number 2? What you can influence. Absolutely, 100%. So circle number 2, things that you can influence. The thoughts, opinions, behaviors of your friends, maybe of your families, of your coworkers, of your community, of your church, of your politician, of your local media, right? You can write letters to the editors. Those are things that you can influence. You might not be able to control them, but you can influence them, right? And then 3 is what? What is 3? 3 are the things that we can neither control nor influence, right? So we leave that to someone else because whatever is in our number 3 is in somebody else's 1 or 2, right? So given that, when you said, how do we do that? We do it by focusing on our 1s and our 2s. So you can leave this live today. You can take talking points. You can write it down. You can go onto your social media. You can write letters to the editor. You can call your representatives, email your representatives, and you could say, hey, I heard this today and it made perfect sense to me, right? Better messaging around this House resolution on the budget is to be able to say, hey, listen, there's $2 trillion of cuts that have to happen. $880 billion of it has to come under the Energy and Commerce Committee. The Energy and Commerce Committee, right, handles Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Trump has said you can't cut Medicare and you can't cut Social Security. So the concern is that the $880 billion that they have to cut will come from Medicaid. And while it doesn't spell it out in the bill, that's the reasonable conclusion. If I can only cut it from 3 places and I can't touch 2 of them, it leaves the 3rd one vulnerable. And Democrats could very easily be doing a 60-second. Imagine if every Democrat in the House and in the Senate did a 1-minute video, a 1-minute reel on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, 1 minute, and just said that exact thing. It would just be done. And then they could do a 1-minute video that says, hey, did you know that House Resolution 14, that is the budget bill, right? Did you know that it's going to increase the deficit by $4 trillion over 2 years? Here's what section you can find that in the bill, right? Did you know that House Resolution 14, the budget resolution, right? It would extend the existing tax cuts for the 1% that happened in 2017, and it would add new ones that cost $4.5 trillion over 10 years. Do you see how quick those things can happen? Just little bullet points. And you just do. And now nobody can call you a liar. Nobody can say you're lying. Nope. And then can say, hey, listen, and this will add almost $3 trillion to the federal deficit over 10 years. Those are just boom, 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 bullet points. But when you say that House GOP folks passed a resolution to cut Medicaid, and it's not spelled out in the bill, people are going to call you a liar, and people are going to believe them because they cannot find it in the bill. Just tell the damn truth. Thanks, health and happiness. That's all you got to do. You do not have to make it seem like things are worse than they are, because shit is bad enough. All you got to do is tell the truth. You don't got to embellish it. You don't got to make it go any higher. You don't got to do anything. All you have to do is just tell the truth. That's it. CT, you're the only person in here talking about Donald Trump. You want to come talk to me about it on the panel? Because I don't see the word Trump anywhere on my thing. Matter of fact, I don't think I've said anything about Trump. Are you in the right room, honey? Or did you get lost? Did you make a wrong turn on TikTok and find yourself in a room that was unexpected and think you were somewhere else? I'm just wondering, because my live doesn't say anything about Donald Trump at all. So maybe you're lost. Or do you need assistance? So let me just say this. There's a great website called outschool.com. You can go to outschool.com and that you can get tutors. There's great reading for comprehension lessons you can get, and they're very affordable. You can pay as you go. Some of them are $9 a session. Some of them are like $15 a session. Like, that's an option if if you need help reading. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Oh, wow. Okay. So anyway, see, this is what happens. I am respectful and I am nice most of the time until people come at me crazy. Right, helpful Danny. I'm here to be helpful. So, CT, if you want to join the panel, come on. Listen, this is the thing. I am here to help. Yeah, Massey from Kentucky voted no. 100%. Massive, it's because I'm used to this. They literally have no new tricks. And somebody earlier said, who's they? Whoever comes in here acting a damn fool, that's who. That's who. If you come in here acting a fool and talking crazy to me, you, that's who I'm talking to. That's who they are. That's it. Yeah, it could be you, depending upon how you come at me, right? So, Linda, I don't know. I do match energy sometimes, Gina. It usually, sometimes, I'll give it a minute, but sometimes I'm just not playing. And I think today is just one of those days because there's so much at stake. Can I share something with y'all though? Hold on, because I was pretty excited when I saw this. So I logged into my Substack today, and this person I know had to have listened to my podcast or had to have come to the training that I did, the workshop that I did about the carve training. So let me show you. I logged in today to my Substack, and of course I can't find it when I want it, but hold on, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to share it with you because I was kind of tickled. Because I make no bones about this, y'all. I'm not Somebody gave me a violation for hateful behaviors. Yeah, no, I disagree. So I'll just have to go in and disagree. Now, listen, this, and then what's so funny is those folks will call me a snowflake. And then those folks will call me a snowflake. Now, don't do F1, Chris Haven. But yeah, it is what it is, right? No, Hank, it just says repeated violations will cause them to do whatever. They won't cut it. But let me say this real quick. Settle down, okay? So this is what I was going to share with you guys real quick. Hey, stop, please. I know. Please don't do that, sis. Okay, so I got this message, and it says CARVE, which that's the acronym that I talk about. These are the 4 things we should bring to every conversation in order to carve out some understanding. And so it's compassion, authenticity, respect, and vulnerability. Right, Astrid. And so listen, this person messaged me on Substack and said, CARVE dash. As a psychiatrist, I am thrilled with this concept you are training as a tool for effective conversation. It is good for the world in which we live in so many ways. The opportunity to do the training work you are now doing is the absolute silver lining of our current political crisis in the U.S. at this moment. Love to you and bless you. Made my little heart feel good this morning. Because I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a whatever. I don't have like a bajillion degrees. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. And it was cool to get that. It was cool to get that from somebody. So, all right. So, right, Emily Rose, right. Definitely a little affirmation, a little validation. It's always good, you know, really nice. So, yeah, it was awesome. So I want to cover a couple of things with folks so that we kind of know what's going on. You know, it's kind of getting close to 2:00. So hopefully by 2:00, we will have hit 200,000 likes and been able to just, I'm going to review these 3 things very quickly so that everybody who's in here now here's what I had to say about them. And then I want to just do a little housekeeping. Okay. I want to do a little housekeeping as well. I'm good, Gen X. How are you? All right. So what's up, Doug? So let me just say this to you guys. So a couple things. So on this House resolution for the budget, okay, the House resolution does not specifically say that it is going to cut Medicaid. But here are the things that it does say that you should know about. And these are the bullet points that you can actually articulate to people so that they are informed about what is actually in the bill and what is not, okay? So, a couple of things. The first thing is that it will extend the 2017 tax cuts that Trump already did for the ultra wealthy, and it will implement new ones, and that will have a total cost of $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years. Okay. And I say 10 years because a decade makes it sound long as hell. So I say 10. Appreciate you tapping until you get the confetti, Greenwich. Next bullet point that is great to have. It also allocates $300 billion for spending on defense and border security. Okay. So we ain't got no money to help starving people or whatever, right? But we got money for defense. And even though the DOD has never passed an audit, whatever. No, we will not, Uncle Hippie. Next, it also raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion over 2 years. And it adds almost $3 trillion to the federal deficit over 10 years. So those are the big pieces. The next one, which is the one that will help explain the whole Medicaid debate, is this. The budget blueprint would also direct, say that last part again. Okay. I'm not going to stop after each one. I'm going to list them bullet point by bullet point. Not so loud, sis. So extending the current 2017 tax cuts and implementing new ones will cost $4.5 trillion over the next decade. 2, it allocates $300 billion for spending on defense and border security. 3, it raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion over 2 years. And it adds almost $3 trillion to the federal deficit over the next 10 years. So that's why you hear people saying it's a total of like $8 trillion. So the budget blueprint also directs multiple committees to cut billions of dollars, including $880 billion in cuts that has to be spearheaded by the Energy and Commerce Committee. Now, Energy and Commerce, she is Health and Happiness. Energy and Commerce is who does, no, but it will be Greenwich. Energy and Commerce is who looks at Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Trump has said you can't touch Medicare and you can't touch Social Security for the cuts. That is why people are saying these $800 billion of cuts is going to happen when it comes to Medicaid. Because if you can't touch Medicare and Social Security, that only leaves Medicaid, right? They end this year, Mastiff Mama. Next, let me just see really quickly. Blah 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 blah. Okay, those were the main 4 points. Those are the main 4 points, just so everybody knows and has them. And yes, I will put them in the link tree. Okay. No, Medicaid and Medicare are 2 completely separate programs. Oh, thanks, Veronica. I appreciate that. Okay, so they're 2 separate things. All right. And so these are the things. So what I have said in this live is really important is that we need to be better about messaging, because when all you say is, Mila Ann. Okay, but we don't have to scream. All right. So this is the deal. Awesome, Sherry. So let me just say this. So this is what's important. We have to get our progressive candidates, our progressive, Red Hot, all of those folks. We have to be about the business of getting them to communicate appropriately. Because when all you say is the Republicans in the House just voted to cut $800 billion in Medicaid, and then people go and they read that bill because their Republican representative said, go read that bill. That's not what we did. And then they can't find that in the bill. Now you look like a liar. Yeah, Alex, they did. Now you look like a liar. And that's not good. You don't have to make it sound worse than it is. And let me just tell you something. When you say it, people doubt it. You don't have to tell them that Medicaid is going to be cut. All you have to do is say this. The Committee on Energy and Commerce controls Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Trump said they cannot cut Medicare or Social Security. This resolution would require them to cut $880 billion. So the only place that would leave to cut would be what? And let them figure it out, that it's Medicaid. They can figure that out. And when they draw their own logical conclusion, it is so much more powerful than you telling them. People love discovering it for themselves. You just lead them to the water. That's it. That's it. It's Energy and Commerce. Energy and Commerce Committee controls Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid. The resolution for the budget in the House requires the Energy and Commerce Committee to cut $880 billion. Trump says, and they will love the fact that Trump said this, Trump says you can't cut Medicare and Social Security. What else does that leave to be cut? That's it. And here's what I will do. I will put this in a pretty little social media graphic and I will throw it in the link tree. How's that? I don't want to mention SNAP because it's not mentioned. I don't want to, it's not, people are throwing that in there, but I don't want to do that. So hold on. Can we do this together? Because life be lifing in my parts. And I don't want to get off here and then be like, oh shit, I forgot to do something. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to do this really quick. Okay. Whew. We're going to do it together. It doesn't even matter what's under it. See, don't take people to the weeds. They will get lost. Do not take people into the weeds. Just leave them at Medicaid. That's it. And then if you really want to do that, put a little link in the comments to Medicaid that shows what all Medicaid covers. That's what you can do. Okay, so here we go. I'm literally going to do this right now while we're doing it. Hold on. Here we go. You want to hear it? Here it goes. All right. So, yeah, I want you to open this up so I can do da-da-da-da. Okay, I'm doing it right now. What, baby? What? No, Google, you may not. Don't you love it the way don't you love it when Google says, Google would like to know your current location? I bet you would. Bitch, that's why I have a VPN. No. Okay. Oh, this is a great article. So how many of you guys know KFF? So KFF is Kaiser Family Foundation Health News. They have their health news and they are fantastic. And they have a great article that they just put out on the 18th of this month that actually says 10 things to know about Medicaid. And so number one, and I'm going to put this link in the link tree. And it says nationally, 1 in 5 people have Medicaid, but this varies across states. So 1 in 5 people have Medicaid. And then there's a great chart that actually shows what percentage of the state has Medicaid, right? So if I look at Tennessee, 20%, Kentucky, 28%, Mississippi, 24%, Florida, 18%, Louisiana, 32%. So it's got a great little thing in here. Virginia is 17%. So I will put this link in the link tree for you all. Now, then it says number 2, Medicaid is a key source of coverage for certain populations. So they cover nearly 4 in 10 children, 8 in 10 children in poverty, 1 in 6 adults, and almost half of adults in poverty. Okay. Medicaid, when we talk about white children and adults, Medicaid covers a higher share of Black, Hispanic, and American Indian or Alaska Native children and adults. Those numbers were, they're comparing them. So Medicaid covers more than 1 in 4 adults ages 19 to 64 with disabilities who are defined as having 1 or more difficulty related to hearing, vision, cognition, ambulation, self-care, or independent living. All this is in there. And then it breaks it. It's beautiful. I love KFF. They're so great. Number 3, Medicaid is jointly financed by the federal government and states. And then it breaks down like what percentage of that funding is from federal. So federal Medicaid assistance percentages. So in Tennessee, the federal government covers 64.16% of their Medicaid. In Georgia, 66.4%. In North Carolina, 64.62%. In Alabama, 72.63%. I'm not sure, Cam. I'm just going to put this link in there for you as well. Yeah, it's great. And so do you see how great this is? West Virginia is 74.22%, Rebel. Yeah. And so it's great to be able to simply say, here are the facts. You think it's just a certain group of people, and it ain't, right? And it is not. Iowa is 62.7%. Here, I'm going to put this article in the link tree right now while I'm on here for you guys, okay? Give me 1 sec. I'm literally putting it in there right now. Boom, 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 boom. Y'all stop putting states in there. I'm going to give you the link. Go look up your state. Okay? I'm going to give you the link. You go look up your state, okay? Okay. So, and that particular link is, let me see if it lists it or not. 10 things to know. Jeez. No. Why can't I type? About Medicaid. Girls, I cannot. Okay, but I can't. Mila, Ann, I know it's about your nap time, but I need you to take it down a notch. All right, so that is going to be the 4th link that is in the link tree. It's there now. It's there. It's in the link tree. It's the 4th one. Let me do this really quick. So I'm going to do this. Because I like to make things visual. So just give me a second. Ba-ba-ba. Sorry, y'all. I'm multitasking, but we're doing this together. Okay? We're doing this together so that I can get it done. Hey, folks. I can promise you that this is not what we want to do. Okay? Thank you. All right. I am putting this in here. And 1 second. Girl, Bella did not hit you. Stop lying. This girl be doing the most, y'all. This child is going to get our family an Oscar. I'm just going to tell you this right now. It's happening. She is it. I'm telling you, she is it. So just in case you didn't know, 100%. Yeah, that's Mila. That's what Mila is for us. All right. So, and then I got one more. There we go. Perfect. So, did you hear her just fake cry for y'all? Did you hear? She fake cried for you. Mila. What? You are being silly. That's what you are being. You are being 100% silly, my girl. Oh, okay. So I'm almost done. Yes, just that quick. I just needed to put together a couple of things. And I need to put this right here. Boom. What? Nothing? Girl, that means something. Okay, so you want to wash your hands? Girl, get out my water. Y'all know she likes to play in the water, right? Y'all know she likes to play in the water. And I know I'm not looking at y'all, but I love it that you're commenting. Just give me a second. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is what this is going to say. Yeah, y'all know how she likes to do. So, yeah, she will try all she can. All right, perfect. That is what I want. And now let's do this.
I'm not playing in water yet.
Yeah, don't play in the water at all. Don't say I'm not playing in the water yet. Don't play in the water at all.
I'm not. I want to get down.
Okay. I hope so. Mimi. She said, I'm not playing in the water yet. Y'all heard it, right? She is honest. She is. Hoo-wee. I got a toddler for lease if y'all want one. Stop jumping.
I'm not.
Except you were just now.
No.
Okay. So do y'all remember the place on Netflix? So I can't talk and do this at the same time. So hold on. So energy
I want.
and commerce
Choo-choo.
committee.
Choo-choo.
Wait, sis, I got to do this.
I find it. I'll find that one. I'll
You-
find that one.
Okay, put it down for me. It's part of the game. Overseas Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. House budget resolution requires this committee to cut $880 billion. Trump said can't cut Medicare or Social Security. So what's left to cut? That's the question. What's left to cut? That's the question. Boom. That is the question. And we are going to do these in bullet points because people read better with bullet points. We're going to put a space in between them so they are very legible for people. Okay. I want people to be able to easily see this graphic, read this graphic, and be like, oh shit. Oh, okay. What does that mean? Right? That's what we want to happen. Mila, what are you getting, love?
Yogurt.
You're getting yogurt? Okay. I am literally almost done, folks. I'm someone that I need it to be visually effective. So there's something called pattern interruption. You guys familiar with pattern interruption? So pattern interruption is when people are scrolling and they are going through their social media. Stop, girl. Here, in a minute. Take this and get your spoon. So pattern interruption means that when people are scrolling in social media, then what has to happen is whatever they see needs to be significant enough to interrupt their thought pattern. It's got to be eye-catching enough to get their attention and make them want to read it, get it, know it. Does that make sense? So that's what we talk about when we talk about pattern interruption. And so that's what we want to make. We want to make sure that we are talking in a way that interrupts people's patterns. So, and we can do that. Bradley, honey, you seem to want some attention. Would you like to join the panel? I'm happy to talk with you. Bradley, you want to join the panel? Do you know how to Do you know how to hit the little pink and blue buttons and request up? Do you know how to do that? Because I'm happy to talk to you, and I will be nice and all the things, because I don't believe in being shitty to people. I mean, unless you want to be real shitty with me, and then, turnabout's fair play. So just let me know, Bradley. But yeah, if you would like to know my point, come on in here. We can talk about it. So what I found to be helpful, Bradley, is when I enter into a room that I haven't been in, and there is obviously something taking place, and everybody else in the room is being patient because they seem to know that we're waiting on something. What I have found is it's best if I just be quiet for a minute. I'll figure it out. You requested? All right, perfect. I will bring you right on up. 1 second. I need... Da, da, da. I want that. All right, Bradley, I am getting to you right now. I needed to finish this thing that I was working on for people because I'm nice like that. All right, so I am now going to download this. Awesome. All right, Bradley. Ah, where'd you go, Bradley? I don't see you. I don't see you, Bradley. You're not in my thing. I hit the request and you're not there, Bradley.
I want more juice.
Okay, can you give me 1 moment and I will get it for you? Bradley, where'd you go? He did that fast. He's gone that fast. I mean, I don't know. I asked nicely. Oh my God, my knee. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I need to drop right on in here real quick. And I'm going to upload. Oh, I should. Hold on. I should put it in a different drive. 1 second, folks. 1 second. Mila, turn off your alarm. Yeah, no, Bradley left just that damn quick. Bradley's gone. Which this is what happens, right? Just not surprised. Not surprised. And I'm just going to upload this so that I can be done really quickly. Well, Bradley, okay, here, let me send you a direct invite because you weren't in there. You said you requested. Now I sent you a direct invitation. So you should be able to just accept it. Hey, Bradley,
Okay.
how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You had a question?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely did.
Okay, what's your question?
Why do you feel like the Medicaid budget climate is not going to change?
Well, I don't know anything about the budget, climate, Medicaid, whatever, because that's not what I was talking about. These are 3 separate things.
Well, if you look at your immediate post, Budget Bill 2025, Medicaid climate change.
Yeah, 3 different subjects.
They're all above your head. So
I'm aware because I list the 3 topics I'm going to talk about. If you wanted to know what the topics were, you could have asked me.
I'm asking you right now, what do you feel about Medicaid?
Well, what I feel about Medicaid is what I have already said on this live, is that they need to do a better job explaining why people believe that it will be cut in the budget resolution that the House passed yesterday.
Are you afraid that it's going to get cut?
Why would you think that I'm afraid of something?
Well, I'm not saying maybe you'd be afraid of it, but it is kind of a constitutional right that we have health care.
Correct.
Right? Am I wrong?
No. So what I said is that the messaging around this House resolution has not been great. And the Democratic folks that are speaking on it are not doing it in a way that is beneficial. And this is what
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
I agree with that.
And so what I said is that, and matter of fact, I just finished what I was doing when you came in the room was making a graphic to put into the link tree for people, is that instead of saying that House Republicans voted to cut Medicaid by $880 billion, which looks like it's fake and false when people go to read the bill and that's not in the bill, right? What they should have said is, listen, the Energy and Commerce Committee oversees Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. The House budget resolution requires this committee to cut $880 billion. Trump said you can't cut Medicare or Social Security, so what's left to cut?
What do you think about Bernie Sanders' statements?
About what part of what?
Well, if you think about it, he's trying to, I guess, recall a revolution. I guess if you were to search social media, that's pretty much all he's saying, is that the billionaires are taking all of our money, which, I'm not necessarily categorically with. I don't know, and I'm not going to be sure that I know, especially since you have children yourself, and I also have children. What should be my... I guess this is a dumb question.
No such thing.
So, what do you think should be the next move for the American public? I live in Michigan, by the way, so I'm way up north.
Yeah, I will be in Michigan again in April.
Okay, so if I have to come to terms with this, I do have SNAP benefits myself.
Okay.
And I'm a type 1 diabetic. So I'm nervous that yes, I'm not very financially successful, which is my fault.
I don't agree with that statement, that it's your fault. Why do you think that that's your fault?
Well, hold on. I'm not done yet.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No worries. You're fine. I guess I'm nervous. I watched my dad die 2 years ago from cancer, and my mom has had a few strokes. I'm a 33-year-old man. And I just want to make sure she's taken care of.
Agreed.
And they're trying to cut her finances for her Xarelto, and they want her to pay $1,800, which she gets Social Security, and she only gets $1,300 a month in Social Security. Yeah. And they want her to pay $1,800 for her life-saving medication. So, I mean, this might not be prominent or purposeful, but I honestly, I'm not blaming anyone. But we are in that poor bracket. So what's the next step?
Yeah. So, I mean, when people say things like, what's the next steps? I think that there has to be multiple steps that happen at the same time. Okay. So, if you've never been in one of my lives before, then you probably aren't familiar. But some of the things that you can do is focus on your representatives, the people who represent you. I don't know if you're in a Republican district or a Democratic district, right? I'm in
a Republican district. I mean, Michigan, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a Republican district.
Okay. So, but believe it or not, Republicans are some of the folks that we need to be talking to the most, because they need to understand that it's their constituents that disagree with what's happening. A lot of them are going along with these things because they believe that they will lose their constituents if they go against Trump. But if more people who do not like these things speak out to their Republican representatives, then there's an opportunity to make change. The way that I recommend doing that, though, is I recommend not just calling them. I know everybody uses 5 calls as an app and all of that, but I recommend communicating via email because you have a paper trail. And then after I communicate via email, I would post it like on my social media and tag my representative in the social media post, because now there's public accountability. And it's sad that we need public accountability, but we do.
But the public the public accountability, this thing with Elon Musk is the thing that I'm most concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
I know that a lot of it is probably just hearsay, thearsay. What do you think about that?
Well, so hold on, because so one of the things that I also talk to people about are about these 3 circles that I like to put things in. Okay. So the first circle number 1, is the circle of control. These are the things that I can absolutely control, which tend to usually be my thoughts, my beliefs, my actions, my words, my work ethic, my productivity. Those are the things I can control. The second circle are the things that I can influence, right? Which those tend to be my friends, my family, my community, right? And my local media and things like that. And then the third circle are the things that are outside of my influence or control. And that means that circle is in someone else's 1 or 2, right? So what's not beneficial for me is to worry myself to death about Elon, because I can't change what he's doing except by influencing my representatives. I'm not a judge in a court that's going to be able to rule what he can and can't do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a member of Congress that can or cannot impeach anybody. Like I don't have the ability to directly impact what Elon is or isn't doing. But what I can do is influence my representatives and influence my community, who may be able to do that. So in addition to holding my reps publicly accountable, you have a great experience. You have a great life that you are living now in such a way as, and what I mean by that is, you are like lots of Michiganders out there. There are plenty of people in Michigan that are in a similar boat as you are, especially people in rural places and in the inner city, right? So when you write a compelling letter to the editor and you're able to say, listen, this is all my mother gets. These are the things that I am absolutely concerned about because they would devastate my family. And you're able to get those published in your local newspaper. You're able to put it out on social media. You're able to send it off to maybe a state paper that also carries it. And you send that to your representatives. And those are the things that if everyone does their part, it has a cumulative effect, right? And a lot of times we want to see this great big change that happens because of one thing. But the reality is that permanent change doesn't happen that way. If you want permanent change, it has to be everyone doing those steps. And then, so that's the one lane, which is your political lane, your representative, lane, that piece. The other part of it is the personal piece, because like I'm in the South, and I grew up in the South. And a lot of the folks that
we're at in the South.
Oh, I'm originally from Tennessee.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And the area where I'm at is the area that I was raised there. It's probably the most diverse county in my region is 91% white. It's about 80% Republican on average. And so like that's where I'm from. So when I think about my community and my circle of influence, I have to figure out how do I have conversations that create understanding and don't have us arguing about candidates. Like, I'm not going to argue with somebody about whether Doge is a legal government agency or not. I mean, I can tell you that it's not because Congress didn't pass a piece of legislation that created it, but that's a moot point, right? What I would rather talk to you about, what I would rather talk to people about is about what actually comes out of Medicaid and who actually receives Medicaid and what happens to you and your family, not just you and yours, but mine. What happens to us if this thing actually does happen? So like in my link tree, if you click on my profile twice, don't do it now, it'll take you out. But if you go to my profile, I have a link tree there. And there's a link to a beautiful KFF article that talks 10 things you need to know about Medicaid. There are interactive maps there that will show you how much of your state's federal funding for Medicaid is federal. How much of your state's Medicaid funding is federal. And then being able to talk to people. There's another one that I put in there that shows how much of your state's education is federally funded. and then being able to talk to people about what happens to our lives. Because let me just tell you something, even if you voted for Trump, I don't wish that you don't have access to health care. I don't wish that, you don't have the things that you need. Like, that's definitely not a thing. Because
did you? I guess, like I said, I came into this. I was just kind of watching. So,
sure.
Did you vote for Trump yourself?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. Well, then me and you are on the same side then.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, like I've spent a lot of time, and you'll see if you go to my Linktree, you'll see there's a lot of information in there that I've given people about immigration and about some of the pieces of legislation and about all of those different things. But the reason I'm saying this with you is that when you talk to the people in your community, and here's what I will tell you, like if you listen to podcasts at all, if you were to go to my podcast show, there's an episode of my podcast called Us and Them, and you listen to it. I had a Trump supporter, she was seriously MAGA, come join my panel just like you did. And she came to cook, she said. And you can listen to this conversation that we had, because I think that when we talk to people that have opposing views, people that did vote for Trump, people that do support this stuff, or think that they do, I think that if we bring 4 things to every conversation, we can create understanding, even if we don't get agreement. Those 4 things are compassion, authenticity, respect, and vulnerability, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
yes, ma'am. I absolutely agree with that.
And when we do that, you'd be surprised. Folks that follow me, they've been in here a lot, and they've seen this happen. I think I have 3 episodes on the podcast. One of them is This Is How We Win. Another one is called Good Necessary Trouble. And then the last one is called Us and Them. Each one of those episodes contains snippets of conversations that I'm having with people on social media who have joined the panel, and we are walking through this thing. And that is going to be what it takes, because we have got to build bridges with folks. And we can't do that by calling people maggots and demon rats. We have to do it by reaching this place that says, listen, you're a human being. And even if you voted for Trump, I want your children to have Medicaid.
No, I would not have voted for Trump.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I guess my question is, moving forward, what do you expect to come from this? Because we have Elon Musk, obviously there with Doge, and you have Donald Trump pretty much sucking his virtual cock. Please ignore my language. I'm sorry about that.
No, I got it.
So what is the make of this? Like, what can we do from here? As I'm not saying Republicans, Democrats, I'm just saying people watching what's going on, because I've talked to my mom about it multiple times. Like I said, my dad has passed away, and she refuses to even entertain the thought that we even have a conversation. So what I'm worried about is like people who are like Bernie Sanders age. They're on the way out the door. Donald Trump obviously doesn't care. He's going to be 83 when he leaves office. So what becomes of the rest of us once this is all done?
So this is my thing. I tell people, when people ask me things like that, I always say, I'm not Miss Cleo. That'll tell you a little bit about my age. Like, I can't see into the future, so I don't know what's going to happen. So again, what I do is a couple things. I don't speak things that I don't want to happen. So you'll never hear me say, this horrible thing is going to happen. We're going to become this, we're going to become that. Because I don't want to create something that I don't want to happen, period. Right? I just don't. I don't want to put my energy into something that I hope never happens. Number 2.
But it's a possibility.
I can. And here's the thing: I can know the possibilities, and I do. Like, I'm a realist. But what I do is I'm careful not to put my energy and my words into those things. I can know they are possibilities, but guess what? There are good things that are possibilities too. There's a possibility that in Florida on April 1st, Districts 1 and District 6 flip those House seats, and now all of a sudden the Democrats have stopped the Republican majority in the House. That's a possibility, right? There's work to be done, though, to make that happen. People have to be phone banking and knocking doors and having conversations and making relevant talking points to people, right? All of those things. So when I say the things that I'm talking about aren't sexy things, like knocking doors is not sexy. Putting up social media posts, emailing your representatives, like making phone calls, those things aren't sexy. They're not fun, but they are the work that brings about change. And then the other part of it is real simple. We have to, the biggest impact that we are going to make is going to be with the people in our circles of influence to bring them on board, because there are a lot of people that voted for Trump that are not happy right now. And those people we need to be bringing into the fold.
My sister is one of them. And I tried to tell her, it hurts my heart.
I hear your kitty. Look at mine.
I guess that's the biggest thing that I can say. I'm a nurse.
Okay.
And every hospital I go to, I'm just so concerned. I don't know what's going to happen next. And maybe you have a better idea of that.
Yeah. So first of all, I have a special place in my heart for people in the medical field, nurses, especially NICU nurses, because my granddaughter was born at 26 weeks, 1 pound 3 ounces, and she was in the NICU. But anyway, so appreciate that. I'm gonna look at it as soon as I'm done. I'm almost done, son. Okay, he just, that was not my cat, y'all. That was Bradley's. That was not my cat meowing.
It was.
Yeah, they thought it was Titan. That's why I showed you my cat, because they all know my cat, Titan. I was like, no, that's his cat. Okay, ask me again. What are my thoughts on what?
You're fine. I guess I'm scared, I guess, is the best thing that I can say.
Okay, so I'm going to offer you this. When fear, that's why I had that reaction when you asked me if I was afraid. Yes, it's my ADHD. Shut up, y'all. So here's the thing. I understand being scared is a justifiable position. And what I say to people is, when we think about the emotion of fear, it's a really strong energy, right?
Yeah.
And what I don't want to do is I don't want to give really strong energy to anything negative. So what I always say is, I'm really concerned. I am really concerned, right? And I am. But here's what I do know. We have faced things like this before. We have come through, although we've gotten, it's been painful along the way. So what I do is I go, here are the horrific potential outcomes, right?
Okay.
I get it. I see them. I know they're there. And I can't change them by looking at them. What I can do is help them not come to fruition by focusing on all the things that I can do, right? So if I channel that fear into something else, then we can make it happen.
Wow, you snap really well. So what can we do from this point? Because listen for a second. At this point, there's a lot of talk about totalitarianism. I don't even know if I could say that word.
I got it.
And there's a lot of talk about authoritarianism.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about Donald Trump taking a third term.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I would say to you is, okay, this is what I tell people. You want to be informed.
That was the
oligarchy.
Oligarchy.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. Is oligarchy.
So check this out.
If you look at that, and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things on social media back and forth where you got Bernie Sanders saying one thing, and then you got Ted Cruz saying another thing.
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to understand. What am I supposed to trust at this moment? In your opinion, listen, in your opinion, what would be the best voice of opinion that I could go by? Because obviously Donald Trump is going to say fake news, you know what I mean, from Fox or whatever, CNN. And you're going to hear the same thing back and forth, but you scroll through TikTok and I find people, I'm not saying like you, but I find these podcasts or situations where I would like to have a conversation with someone like this, which is very nice of you to, and I very much respect that you are willing to have me and speak with you. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I'm just confused at this moment because I am a regular American. Okay, I'm a 33-year-old man, and I am absolutely devastatingly nervous about what we have to do to get past this situation. And you might not call it a situation, and it might be a lot of, you know, BS, blah, blah, blah. And you can, laugh it off all you want.
No, I said it is a situation. No, it is. It is 100%.
So I, like I said, so what I really want to know is, should I ignore this? Is it something that should be ignored, or should I stand up?
No, stand up. Yeah, we don't ignore.
Exactly, and that's what I'm asking you. So with Gretchen, you're not from Michigan, so Gretchen Whitmer, she's our governor, right?
Oh, I know. She's a fantastic. Love her.
She would have been a presidential candidate, and I think the only reason she didn't step up is because she knew that she wouldn't make it, and that makes me sad. And it was the same thing with I don't know how to say this without being weird.
Be weird. I'm okay with it.
Okay, all right. So I think that there was a payment made for a step down.
Oh.
And maybe it's you're probably right. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of money floating around in the air, dude. Like, Elon Musk is worth more than I could ever imagine. And they're trying to say that he's trying to take control of the government. And maybe you have some kind of, I would guess, opinion on that. But that's the thing that I'm the most confused about is that,
So here's what I would say.
Do you think this is and that's a hard word to say. Do you think this is a Hitler situation?
Oh, you can't say that word on TikTok. Say mustache man. Say mustache man.
So scrape that from the board. Do you think this is a situation? That's what I want to ask.
Yes, this is a situation. Yeah. No, this is a very real situation. Have you read any of Project 2025 at all?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you also read Agenda 47?
No.
Okay. Agenda 47 was Trump's agenda. And it's the baby version of Project 2025, right? It is a very real situation. It is something to be concerned about. And this is when people have to get very, very serious about stopping the oligarchy that they want to implement, and making sure that we do not lose democracy. And I think that people really need to pay attention when our allies are now looking to make contracts with other countries than us. When we are voting alongside of Russia and China against the UN and the people who have long been our allies, that's a problem. America is in a really, really concerning situation. Okay. The thing is, I cannot control the dark money that's going anywhere that it's going. I can't. The only thing that I can do is focus on what I can control and what I can influence. I don't spend time wondering. You ought to hear people, well, Danny, what do you think? Did so-and-so do such and such? I don't know, and I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because it doesn't change what happened today. So even if a payment was made to somebody somewhere, it doesn't change where we are today, right? And so I have to focus on the things that are relevant for where we are today and where we desire to go.
So the best thing that we can do is talk to our local representatives, correct?
Your local, your state, and your congressional representatives. Talk to the people within your community. Participate in phone banking in districts where there are special elections, because that matters. You don't have to live in a state to be helpful in having someone win a district. You can phone bank from home in Michigan and help a Florida Democrat, right? What I do here is I do lives like this, but then I also do trainings and workshops where people come and if you go to my link tree, there's one in there that from the last one we did, and we're having one this Saturday that people are registering for. And so we focus on, how do we have effective conversations with people who have opposing views? How do we write good emails? How do we write good letters to the editor? How do we make the most of the 3 to 5 minutes that we get if we go to our Board of Education meeting, if we go to our city council meeting? How do we, what are the ways that we can become the most effective? And when hundreds of us do that together in different states, then it becomes largely impactful. People think, oh, just me as one person doesn't matter. It does if everybody does it. Typically on here, okay, so I have no idea, but do me a favor, folks, put in your state. Put your state in the comments for me. Appreciate you, C. The other day when I did this, we had about 37 or 38 different states in here. So I got Washington, Indiana, Texas, Arizona, New York, Virginia, Illinois, North Carolina. Oh my God, it went very fast. Do you see all the different states?
Yep.
Okay. So can you imagine if everybody that's in here, and let's just say that there's another 35, 37 different states represented here. And imagine if all of those people go back, see, I got Colorado over there on Facebook. Imagine if those people go back into their communities and they just get their 3 closest friends or 4 closest friends, and now there's 5 of them. And then they all write emails and they all write letters to the editor and they all make phone calls to the representatives. Or they all go into their local community and they get a signed petition with 100 names that say, we do not want Medicaid cut. We do not want this happening. We do not want that happening. And then you make copies of those. And then you send those along with your letter to the editor. You send those along with your email to your representative, because now your representative knows it's not just you, but it's 100 constituents in your community that feel the same way as you. And then you just stop focusing on the things that you can't control and all the speculation. You start focusing on the things that you can control, and then you trust for the work to do what it's meant to do. That's it.
I mean, that's all you really can do.
Correct.
I mean, I see all the hearts coming up, and
yeah.
But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, whatever you're saying is totally clear, totally fine. But it probably won't happen, because I'm going to tell you. I disagree. Listen, I did not vote in this last election.
Oh, Bradley, now I'm mad at you.
Exactly, and I'm gonna explain to you why I did not.
If you say Gaza, I'm gonna be madder at you.
Okay. I'll let you go.
Yeah, you're gonna say Gaza, aren't you?
No.
Okay, tell me what. Tell me what it is.
I feel like it's because, and this is gonna sound insane. The internet. There's no proof that my vote is going to be cast the way that I put it. And my mom always tells me the first president she voted for was Kennedy, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, she voted in every single election. But the reason why me and a couple of my friends did not vote was because we felt like our votes would not be cast. And maybe there's a fairness, maybe there's not. But I feel like Donald Trump might have stolen this election. Not saying he did. I have no retrospective on that. I'm saying that right now, there's no way to consider the fact that my vote would have been counted.
Can you share with me? Can you share with me where there has ever been evidence that your vote wasn't counted, or that people's votes weren't being counted?
I guess there is no evidence
Okay.
to share with you.
So would it,
I mean, I don't, like I said, like that's why I said beforehand, I have no proof of that, but that's why I at this moment in time, I guess I'm a millennial, but it's the same thing with my niece. She's Gen Z. She doesn't vote because she doesn't see the priority in it, because she thinks that if we vote, that vote can go anywhere because it's all on the internet.
well,
So,
but let me just say this.
Control?
Do you spend your money? Do you use your bank card?
I do not.
Okay. So you pay everything in cash?
I do not.
Use checks?
No.
Do you pay anything?
At this moment right now, no.
Okay. So when you did pay things, how did you pay them? You don't have a bank card at all?
No, not anymore. Well, I do Cash App. And I
Oh,
keep
but wait. Cash App can go
listen.
anywhere.
Before you say anything, very, very few amounts of money goes on there. If I do have to pay anything, it is with checks, but it is with my mom.
Okay, so wait.
What I do is I'll put money in her bank account because I know that we can trust the bank that she's with.
Okay, but hold on. Do you know how many times Cash App has been hacked or had problems with it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
just
why I say
asking.
very few amount of dollars go on there.
Okay, and do you know how many banks have been in trouble with the government for misusing people's money and putting it in places it's not supposed to go?
No, not necessarily, I guess. I mean, we bank with a credit union, and I'm not going to say their name directly, but at this point, I mean, I feel very comfortable monetarily where we are, but I am still scared by the influence of what's coming.
So let me share this with you. So, getting people to distrust the voting system is a tactic of oligarchs. Getting people to distrust the media is a tactic of oligarchs. That is how you dismantle democracy. It's literally the playbook. So what you did was buy into exactly what they wanted.
Should I vote?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I just feel unsafe, I guess, in voting, and I have a lot of friends who feel the same way too. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to be 33 this year. I have never voted personally because I always felt like my vote didn't count. And maybe there's some other people out there who might see that, but maybe you can change my mind.
Well, here's what I would say to you. Is for me, every time that I get frustrated or I get tired in this fight, personally, I think about John Lewis standing on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I think about them elbow to elbow, arms locked, facing a ton of police officers on the other side with batons, willing to beat them so that they could not vote, so that they could not do anything. When people say, I'm so scared, it comes from me. It comes from a place of privilege. I think that there are people that are scared today for the very first time ever because they've never had to experience what it is when your government isn't for you. Whereas Black and brown people have experienced that our entire existence in this country. right? So
Yeah.
we are aware. When you want to say, you know, you're not sure that your vote was going to be counted, ask Black people how they feel about that. Come talk to my 80-year-old aunt, and she will tell you how she feels about that.
She'd probably slap me, huh?
Probably. Probably.
I probably deserve it. I probably
And
deserve it too.
The thing that
My mom says the same thing. But the biggest concern that I have right now is that if I was to vote, or if, you know, my friends kind of talked me through this, are we really sure that our vote is getting counted directly? Or
what I'm sure of is that because there were people who didn't vote or who used their vote this year as a protest vote, we are now in fear of an oligarchy.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
So that's what I know for sure. What I know for sure is people that voted.
What did they say? 58,000 people didn't vote?
No, about 90 million didn't vote.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which for me is the most unpatriotic thing in the world. When people say to me, oh, thank you for your service, because I'm a veteran and so is my family. My thing is, well, don't tell me thank you for your service. What I want to know is, did you vote? Who did you vote for? Because if you really want to thank me for my service, not only will you will vote for the people whose policies is in the best interest of the people. If you really want to thank me for my service, that's what you do. You know, my dad had 2 tours in Vietnam. My dad died at the age of 32 from lung cancer from Agent Orange when I was 6 months old, period. I don't have, I think people who don't use their privileges and their rights because they think maybe possibly it might not be nothing, right? That frustrates me because there are people that
Don't have that right at all.
Well, yeah. There are people that gave their life for that right. Period. Including for women.
Right.
Yeah. And so for me, I don't have time for conspiracy theories and whataboutisms. If people will spend their day speculating on the whataboutisms and then never take a single action to actually fix things and create the world that we desire to live in.
Then what are they worth, right?
I don't know what they're worth. I mean, I still think that they deserve the things that all human beings do. I don't know that it changes what they're worth. I think it changes my ability. So, I mean, like real talk, I don't date people that don't vote. I don't date people that aren't well informed. I don't engage with people that aren't serious about where we are. Not only do I have children, but I have grandchildren. And I have a grandson and I have 2 granddaughters. My aunt and my mother are now 80 and above. If something doesn't change very quickly, they will leave this world with less rights than they gained while here. They will leave this world with this country in the same condition it was in when they entered it.
And I guess that's why I wanted to have this conversation. It was because I am not informed. I see what I see, and I know what I've been told.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the right thing.
Yeah. So what I would recommend for you is you ask places. I would focus on PBS, NPR, BBC, Midas, ProPublica. All of those are good places. Thanks, Mastiff, to get reliable, accurate information. And then when you listen to them, C-SPAN, thank you, Pie Slice. Those places are places to get information and then go fact check. I love to pull up 2 or 3 different articles. I will pull up an NPR, a ProPublica, and a PBS, right? Or a BBC. And then I will read the story and then I'll look for the links and then I'll click the links so that I can read them all together. Because I want to read the stories, and then I want to go actually see where the facts came from. That's what I want to do. Yeah. And so that's what needs to happen. We have to stop sitting back and allowing people to tell us what a thing is. This is too important. Yeah. So
I agree with you. I do. And I'm like I said, I'm sorry if I'm bothering you.
You're not bothering me, but those are the things that I would recommend. And a good starting place is seriously, you can go listen to the podcast. You can go and get into my link tree, and there's a plethora of information in there that is not my opinion. It's literally facts. So with regard to immigration, there's a whole Google Doc in there, and the Google Doc actually links to all of the reports from the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol and the actual laws that govern those things, right?
Facts are facts. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm not going to question you.
Yep. So that's what I do. Yeah, I hear you. She said her husband doesn't even want to hear "thank you for your service" now that he's lost his federal job. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's a bunch of federal workers that have lost their jobs.
Yeah. They're, and that's why I was asking you, like, what is your opinion on Elon Musk and his situation? I
think Elon Musk is a horrible individual. I think he isn't good for the country, and I think all he cares about is himself and money.
Money.
That's what I think.
Money.
And I think I can't do anything about where he is, so I'm going to focus on the things I can do something about. So that's what I think.
So the best thing that I can do right now, I like I said, I'm a nurse, so I met the mayor, and he's a drunk, and it sucks.
Yeah. So imagine what would happen if you voted for somebody else to replace him.
But I've never voted. And that's what sucks.
So now go fix that. Go fix your voter registration. Go become informed. Go to your city council meetings. Go to your Board of Education meetings. Go to your city meeting. Go become informed. That's it. Go become informed. And then vote. Register to vote. That's what you do. Yep. Imagine that. You actually got to do work.
I know. Okay. And I appreciate you kicking my ass.
You're welcome. I'm happy to do it anytime.
Yeah, I deserve it. And so do a lot of these other people in the comments.
Which is great, because now you can go tell your other friends that you know that did the same bullshit you did. Okay, we got to get our shit together. Because, like it or not, Bradley, right now, whatever we do in this moment impacts our parents before they die and our children as they live. And what I think about is what my ancestors did for me. I do not get to sit on my ass and whine and speculate and not do the same work for my children and my grandchildren. I'm just not going to do that. Somebody did the work for me, and I'm going to do the work for mine. Period.
I'll join you right there.
All right, let's do it. All right.
Yeah. All right.
It was a pleasure. Well, make sure you come back, Bradley.
I will, and I appreciate you having the conversation.
Yeah, anytime. Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Okay, so folks, let me kind of give you the rundown really quickly. I have folks, so you know that if you are a regular, he was gifted a subscription. Perfect. Love that. So folks that are, thanks, Jamie Joy. I appreciate that. So let me just tell you guys. So for those of you guys who have regular TikTok subscriptions, that's like a bronze level subscription that you've done through TikTok. I do have a subscribers Discord that you have access to. If you go to my link tree, there's a little game controller icon. If you click that, you will come into the Discord and you can go to the subscriber side. There is a regular side of Discord as well, but there is a side for subscribers. Like I said, we do the documentary viewings, we do all of those things, but everyone can come to workshops and trainings that I do. And I'm doing one this Saturday. This Saturday, the training is on like 7 steps to resolution. It's how do you have effective conversations around really when there's a lot at stake. And there's a lot at stake when we have these conversations with people in our lives and in our communities, right? No worry, Uncle Hippie. I understand that. So there's a lot happening in the comments right now. So, but listen, it does not cost anything. There is a non-subscriber side to Discord, and there is also all the workshops, somebody just gifted you a subscription, Uncle Hippie. I think that was Miss Slim Shady just gifted you a subscription. So if you go to my link tree, there's a link tree that says 7 steps to resolution training. That is the training for this Saturday. There's another link to RSVP for, thanks for subscribing, Fab. There's another link for the Good Trouble training that is happening on March 4th. If you are someone who has subscribed directly through me and you are doing one of my other programs like Get Your Life, which is a health and wellness program, or Connect Method, which is all about connection and it's a growth and development, right? We're in a subway. Thanks, Rocky Dean. Then you should have access to the Get Your Life section of the subscribers Discord. You should have gotten an email yesterday with your link to create your login and password so that you could get into the course. There is an accountability tracker. I have to finish adding the rest of you all to that accountability tracker today, which I'm going to do when I get off here and after I feed these grandbabies of mine. So once I do that, you'll be good to go and go from there. I think that is it. So awesome, Raquel, you got yours. We love that. Okay, so go to my link tree if you want to come to a training. Okay. Yeah, so Donna Henderson, if you're not already in the Discord, all you have to do is go to my link tree and click on the little game controller icon, and it will bring you straight into the Discord. Okay, and then I have moderators in there that can help you. Appreciate you, Nico. You're welcome. And then you will not get a notification when you're added to the tracker, but I already put the tracker in the Get Your Life section of Discord. It's already there for you. And it's color coded. I did a little live with you guys last night, those of you guys in that program, and I walked you through it. I will do that again so that everybody knows how to get to it. No, it is not too late to join the Get Your Life stuff. Everybody can do that at any point in time. They are all self-paced programs and they are all dripped content. So you're going to be good to go. No worries. Okay. So I will make sure that everybody is in the next day or two and we're all ironed out. And then I have one more program to put in. For those of you guys that are gold level or platinum level, you have one other program to get into, and I will get it up soon. I just needed to get everybody in to Get Your Life first. Thank you, Mayhem. I appreciate that. Mastiff, appreciate you. So that is all I got. We went a little bit longer than I intended today, so I definitely need to feed the babies. They are killing these damn Doritos. They are unaliving the Doritos TikTok. And there are mods who will help you. No, she did not fall asleep. Appreciate you gifting subscriptions, Slim Shady. I really do appreciate it. What, baby? Yes, you can have juice. And then we need to get your water on board. Appreciate you, Astrid. So listen, I'm not going to go live tonight because it's already 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have a lot of work to do to get you guys into your programs and get everybody added to the accountability tracker. And I've been at it since 6 o'clock this morning. Get Your Life, Shell, is a 12-week health and wellness program that I designed. The reason I designed it, really quickly, I'll just share this with you guys. So for those of y'all who follow me for a while and you know, I'm a service-connected disabled veteran, right? So I've had 4 surgeries all on my right knee. They cut me open 8 inches. They severed my patella tendon. Appreciate you, Smile City. They reattached it with a 4-prong staple in the bone. I've got permanent nerve damage and a bunch of stuff, right? Lots of jacked up stuff. Anyway, And on top of that, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease back in 2006, right? So autoimmune stuff makes everything fun. Not really. So everybody looks at me and they think that, yeah, I did talk about it again today, Uncle Hippie, but I will talk about it again. Okay, Edith, I know that I sent yours, but I'll double check. So let me just say this. So what I found is people would look at me and they would not think that people would look at me and think, oh, she can run a 5K, she can do this, she can do that, but I can't. Like my largest surgery that they did on my knee, I walked like a toddler. You know how a toddler will do like one step on a step at a time? I walked like that for almost 2 years, for like 18 months. All the things. And so it was very frustrating for me because if I joined a workout program or a fitness program or a boot camp, there were so many things I couldn't do. I'm not somebody that you're ever going to see doing a squat or a lunge. It's not something that physically works for me. I'm not going to run, right? I can do a brisk walk, right? But I'm not going to run. And even after the brisk walk, I'm going to be swollen and things are going to hurt, but I have to keep moving, right? So I literally got to this place where I need to figure out what works for me. And so what I figured out was these 3 areas: mindset, nutrition, and exercise, but not exercise the way you might think. And so I've had people do this program with me from the ages of 20 to 64, right? And there are some people that their exercise is playing in the yard with their kids and being active. Other people's exercise is going to the gym. Other people's exercise is yoga. It is about finding what works for you. And we do it over 12 weeks where we make really small incremental changes. I call them compound execution. So you make one change and you have to do that one thing for 10 days. And then you just add one small thing on top of it. And you do that for another 10 days. And you do both of them, right? And then you do that and you do that, right? So yeah, so when they so you said your patella tendon ruptured. They severed mine, Sir Darius. They severed my patella tendon, and in order to reattach it, put a 4-prong staple in the bone. So anyway, the bottom line is I needed to figure out a way that worked for me. Mama CF, are you in the subscribers Discord? Because they had to, in order to realign it, they had to sever it, Raquel. So they sliced my IT band. The link for subscriptions is in the subscribers Discord. So yeah, so they had to sever the IT band for the 2nd or 3rd time. They had to advance my VMO muscle, sever the patella tendon, realign the kneecap itself, and then reattach it with a 4-prong staple in the bone. And so like I have bulging and herniated discs from, I don't know, C4, C5, C6, no, C5, C6, C7, some of the T's in the middle, and then L4, L5, and S1. Yeah, it was not fun. So anyway, bottom line is I wanted people to be able to find what works for them and not be judged and not feel bad for not being able to do what other people can do. So I literally put together this entire program, ran it. It's copywritten. It's all the things. And so, yeah, so I offered it to people really cheap. And when you ask me what's cheap, $9 a month. It's worth easy 10 times that. But my thing is I'd rather help the most people possible than not. Right? That's it. So that program is literally $9 a month. And that's all. And then I have another program that's a step up from that, because you get that program and then a whole other coaching program that I have that has its own workbook and all that stuff. And they're all copywritten and whatever, and people have done them before. And so for me, I believe that we are in a time where we have to, Mila, good gosh. I believe that we are in a time where people are going to need things to keep them grounded. People are going to need things to focus on, to feel accomplished in, to get some wins in, to find some joy in, and to create community. I think people are going to need that as we do the work that we need to do to save the country, right? Real talk, right? So I got you, Small City. And so I would rather price it really cheap and have 1,000 people do it than to price it really expensive and only have 50 people do it. It's for me, it's about getting as many people in as possible. And the thing is, like the software and stuff, it costs money to do, right? So that's why somebody has to pay something, because I'm not rich. My name's not Elon. So I'm not Elon. So when you have to pay for the platforms to host the courses and all that stuff, then, but there's nothing that I have is more than $25 a month. Nothing. And I had this conversation with my therapist yesterday, and that's exactly what I said to her. I just said, I know that, like, I had a licensed clinical social worker do my coaching course, and she was like, oh my God, I'd pay $1,500 for this. And thank God I don't charge that. I'm not Tony Robbins. There's no $5,400 or $5,000 for a date with Destiny for the weekend. Like, it's just not who I am. To me, really, really rich people aren't the people who need these things. It's the rest of us. It's the average, regular person. Programs should not be available just for people that can afford $1,000. They just shouldn't. So yeah. So we're just going to grow this thing. And so we're going to be about the business of helping each other, helping ourselves, and helping our communities and our country. That's what we're going to be about the business of doing. So user, I'll post the link in my link tree, because it's in my Discord. If you join my Discord, if you go to my link tree, go to my Discord, it's in the general chat. Yeah, appreciate you guys. All right. That is all I have. It's funny. People are like, why don't you push it more? Because I don't want to push it more. I want to get everybody in. I want people to see what it's like. I want, like yesterday, I didn't go live all day yesterday because I was like, oh my God, I need to get everybody into the program. Because people had paid $9 a month, and I wanted them to be able to see what they were getting. It's just important to me. It's just important to me to, they are doing nachos. They are doing nacho flavor. Love you back. Mean it. All right. So everybody, I am out of here. I'm going to feed these girls. Mila, come here. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Come here, girl.
Bye.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Blow and kisses.
Bye.
All right. Get down. Let's go. I'm going to get you some food.
Windows?
I said, I'm going to get you some food. And y'all know what she said, right? Moodles? Oh my God. This kid would live off ramen, and I let her.
Windows?
All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do ice cream later. Noodles. Silly girl. Oh, you see my glasses? They're cute, right? Mwah. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you later.
Minutes.
She's saying noodles, but they come out moodles. That's how it comes out, right? Exactly, Sandra. So, all right, I will see you guys. Appreciate you very much. And yeah, I'll see you guys in Discord. Okay, see you later.